Secretary Arsenio Balisacan joins us on that and on poverty hitting a record low. Plus, the United States launches what it calls Operation Economic Outcast, an all-out sanctions campaign to isolate Iran. The Philippines holds on to its investment-grade standing, but Moody's is signaling a much tougher year ahead. The Global Debt Watcher affirmed the country at Baa2 with a stable outlook. Moody's says this reflects expectations that the country's fiscal numbers will stabilize over the next 2 years, supported by a gradual recovery in growth and the government's continued commitment to narrowing the budget deficit. But the picture is weaker for near-term growth. Moody's now sees the economy expanding just 3.6% this year, down from 4.4% in 2025.
The Sergeant at Arms is directed to make a proclamation.
The agency blames higher food and
All
energy
persons
costs,
are commanded to
as
keep
well as a
silent
sharp
under pain of
contraction in
penalty
public investment
while the impeachment
following
court
the
is in
flood control
session
probe.
for the trial
Moody's
of
expects
Vice
growth to
President
rebound
Sara
to
Zimmerman
5.3%
Duterte.
in 2027,
The impeachment trial
as
of
public
Vice President
infrastructure
Sara
spending
Zimmerman
normalizes.
Duterte is hereby called to order. Let us rise for a minute
The
of silent
Philippines has
prayer.
made significant progress in bringing down poverty, but the economic growth needed to sustain that progress is now under pressure. With us now is Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, Secretary of the Department of Economy, Planning and Development. Good morning, Sec. RC.
Good morning, Marco.
It's an honor to have you here today on Business 360.
Same
Amen.
here.
First of all, congratulations on achieving
The Clerk of Court will now
goal
call the
of
roll.
single-digit
members.
poverty levels. I still
Senator
remember
Judge Aquino,
back in
Senator Judge
2022,
Cayetano Alan,
the first few
Senator
Filipino
Judge Cayetano Pia,
when
Senator
the
Judge De La
economic
Rosa,
analysts said
Senator
that the
Judge
goal
Ejercito,
of this
Senator Judge
administration
Estrada,
is to hit
Senator
upper
Judge
middle-income
Go,
status and
Senator Judge
single-digit poverty
Ontiveros,
levels,
Senator
and you
Judge
have
Lacson,
achieved that.
Senator
How
Judge
did you
Lapid,
make it this
Senator
far?
Judge Legarda, Senator Judge Marcoleta, Senator Judge Marcos, Senator Judge Padilla,
growth
Senator
has,
Judge Pangilinan,
except for,
Senator Judge Soto
this
III,
year,
Senator Judge
has been
Tulfo
reasonably,
Erwin, Senator Judge Tulfo Rafi, Senator Judge Villanueva,
here,
Senator Judge Villar Camille, Senator Judge Villar Mark, Senator Judge Zubiri,
Still hitting
the presiding officer,
40%
Senator Judge Escudero, the Senate President, Senator Judge Gatchalian.
With
growth.
15 senator judges present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum.
The nice thing about that growth,
In accordance
especially
with the rules of
between
procedure on impeachment
2023
trials,
and
the chair now
2025,
recognizes the duly elected presiding
was that,
officer to preside over
it's
the proceedings of the
accompanied by
impeachment court.
low inflation. Inflation in 2024 was just about 3.2%, and it came down to 1.7% in 2025. Those were low numbers, and those were very good numbers for poverty.
If there are not, thank you,
Although
Mr.
that
Senate
said,
President.
you also
If there are no
achieved,
objections, we shall dispense with the
quite a
reading
feat,
of the
earlier in
August 24,
2023,
2026
because I
Journal of
remember
the Senate
correctly
Sittings
because
and
of
Impeachment
Ukraine
Court,
war. At the time,
and
it
shall
hit
consider the same.
8%.
Exactly.
As
No,
approved.
we managed
The
to
Clerk of Court
reduce
will
the
kindly
inflation
call
to,
the case before the impeachment court.
1.7%.
Case number 004-2026 in the matter of impeachment trial of Vice
The other thing
President
is
Sara Zimmerman
interesting
Duterte.
story about that you can make out of the 2023,
Appearances of the parties.
2025.
Same appearance for the
Understanding
prosecution,
surveys.
Your Honors.
If you look
We're
at
ready.
The
Good
distribution
morning,
of
Your
the
Honors.
growth
Same appearance for the
of,
respondent.
household
accused.
incomes. You find that
Thank you.
growth was
We are
distributionally
in
neutral,
receipt. Before we
meaning,
proceed to
the
our
overall,
next witness,
income growth in nominal terms
I believe it's going to be
was,
Mr.
something like
Ortonio.
22%.
We are in
That's
receipt
right.
If you
of
look
a
at all
request
the
for
deciles,
stipulation
from the top 10%
with respect to
20%
certain
to the
circumstances and documents
portion of our population all the way
from
to
the
top
prosecution. Is that
10%.
correct? Do you confirm,
see,
Honorable Chua?
that the
Yes, Your Honor.
increases in their nominal
We got a
incomes,
copy of the
were
one.
over 20%. And that
The lead
contrasts that with the
counsel for
inflation of
respondent
just
already
averaging
responded to the
5% for the
request for
cumulative
stipulation
the 2
for
years. So, there's a lot
Eduardo
of,
Fajardo
income
yesterday, I
growth,
believe,
That's
and
correct,
only
Your
stipulated to the
distribution.
first 2 points.
So what you can say about
Now,
that,
this
the
one for
growth
Ortonio,
in
we got it only last
between
night. May I ask the
23
counsel for
and
respondent
25,
when you got the
it's
request
quite
for stipulation?
inclusive.
We also
It-
received
it,
this just last night, Your Honor, by
benefits
email.
every
Is there an equal request for stipulation
groups
with
of our
respect to documents?
population.
Let's talk about income because you
I
mentioned
believe,
it,
Your
and in fact, the
Honor,
mean
that
per capita
on
income increased
The
by
third page of
22%.
this
In
new
nominal terms.
request
In
for
nominal terms, it
stipulation
says
with
here that in
respect to
2021,
Mr.
it was
Lemuel
at
Ortonio, there are certain
17,340. increased by
documents that the
17.9%.
prosecution
In 2023,
requests for stipulation.
85,291.
But this will be addressed
and then it
during the
jumped
presentation
in
and the
2025 to
cross-examination of the witness, Your Honor.
104,072.
So can you
increasing by
already comment on the
22%.
request for
So does this mean
stipulation
that
with
our
respect to
Filipino people are now
Ortonio,
actually earning more?
Attorney Sheila?
Well, during that period,
We can, Your Honor.
it's
We can only
pretty clear
stipulate
that,
on items 1,
Filipinos
2,
across the
3,
distribution,
4,
income distribution,
5,
realize higher incomes.
7.
Over, as I said, over 20%
That's it, Your Honor.
between 23 and
Your Honor.
2025 in nominal terms. While inflation
Hold
is
on,
only,
Honorable Chua.
cumulatively 5%. So
In
real
regard
terms,
to
purchasing power,
the documents,
increased during that
Attorney
period.
Sheila,
Of course, the situation now is
some of these, if not all, I haven't checked
2026,
actually
because of the global
individually
headwinds.
because this is a different list
And for
from the
I
list
also
of
noticed here
documents that I
said
have
for
that
poverty
Ortonio may
incidents,
identify
it's
based on our own
9.7%,
study of the
but for
pretrial
the families,
order and
actually it's
markings.
now
How about the
6.4%.
documents, Attorney
That's
Sheila?
our concern, Your Honor, since
Could
we
we
only received
distinguish
this
between that?
last
Because
night,
6.4%,
and
that's
this is
even-
inconsistent
that's
also with the order of
definitely
this
single
court that any request
the
for
reason for that
stipulation
is,
must be provided to other party at least one day
families
I
before the
agree.
hearing, Your Honor. And therefore,
population,
we would prefer to hear
usually
first
have
the comment
higher
of the
number of children
prosecution
than richer
on
families.
this
So
witness.
that's why we
And we will respond accordingly
use
afterwards, Your
population
Honor.
as the proper
And also, Your
metric,
Honor,
because
I will ask
it involves for
later on
individuals,
at the
you know,
start of the
for the same number
presentation
of
of the
families,
witness for another counsel to be acknowledged
for poor
and
families compared
recognized.
to
At the appropriate time, Attorney Sheila.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Honorable Chua.
Yan ay now, Your Honor, turn over to the counsel for the prosecution.
Kasama po ba
Attorney
dito
May
yung
Divina
mga
Gracia.
ayuda and also maybe what their
May Divina
OFW
Gracia,
members of
Your
the
Honor.
family are bringing in?
Will be
through
the one
remittances?
handling,
Yes,
Are those factored into what
We're not yet
family
there,
or
Counsel.
individual
I'm still,
earns,
I'm
bringing
still
their,
at the point
income
of
level
trying
up?
to abbreviate
When we,
the proceedings, at least with
measure
respect to the
income,
documents.
family incomes, we
And to
take
give
into
a shot
account not
at
just, cash
the
incomes or wage
counsel for
incomes,
respondents looking at the
all sources of
documents,
incomes,
how
whether,
many are common documents or
cash
common
or
exhibits?
in-kind.
Because to the mind of the presiding officer,
transfers
counsels,
like,
if it is
gifts,
a
for
common
example,
exhibit,
are
meaning
included,
marked by
in
both
income.
parties separately,
Remittances, are part of
unless
the
there is
incomes
proof
that we
or
capture.
allegation
So,
of fraud
there are
and or
some
palpable
critics who have
mistake
said
or
that
absence of
while,
regularity,
this is a good figure.
then
In some parts
it
of
would
the
have to be
country,
proven through the
there are
witness.
regional
However, absent
differences.
that,
How do
the
we
court
address
can
that,
take
sir?
can take
There
it
are
as already
regional
being
differences
authentic
because,
and its due execution
unexpected
having
deaths
been
expected
established
because of the
without need of proof
situations of the
through the
various areas of the
identification
country,
of a
differ.
witness.
Some are
If there
very
is that
much,
chance, the
dependent
court
on
is willing to
agriculture,
give the parties a
some
few
are much more
minutes
exposed to,
while the court is discussing its
vulnerabilities
ruling with respect to the point raised by Attorney Sheila last August
some
12,
are
which will
so much
take
more
roughly
isolated
about
than
20 to
others,
25
both,
minutes. Would that be
physically
enough
and
time, Attorney
digitally,
Sheila, for
I
you to
think,
go
Your
over the
Honor, we'll
documents?
just need around 5 minutes. We're amenable to some
there
stipulation
are,
under
regions
item
have,
number 25,
much higher
except for
poverty
item
than-
number
than
25,
the
B
9.7%
and V,
average.
B and
So
Beta
the,
and Victory,
the
Your
Philippine
Honor,
Development Plan,
because these are not common exhibits, but with the rest of the
addresses-
items under
addresses that issue,
number 25,
focusing
we
or
probably will
emphasizing
just be
on
needing
connecting
5 minutes
the
to
regions,
see the
especially
documents,
lagging
documents
regions
and
connected with the
return to
fast-growing
this
areas of
court
the country
with
is
a
that,
response to the request
those
for stipulation.
opportunities
5
become
minutes? If
available
it's
for
5 minutes, the court will defer its ruling on
We
your
had,
August 12
your
manifestation
Undersecretary
and just
said
simply
Rose
give you
Clear,
5
and
minutes
she did
before we
mention
call
the
Ortonio.
regional
5 minutes?
Thank you, Your
development councils na tinututukan
Okay,
din
5
po
minutes.
ng
Court declares a
DepEd.
brief recess in order for the
Separate from that,
parties
and
to be
making
able
sure
to
that the
stipulate
growth is
on the
inclusive,
documents they will be
across all
presenting to
regions.
the witness
Another
Ortonio
factor that
to
people are
save
looking at is
on the court's time.
sustainability
Silence
of
and recess.
ayudas. Some people have been criticizing that. In fact, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry had mentioned that we should be investing instead in infrastructure and not on these social welfare programs. But ayuda has factored in to helping address poverty. So how do we reconcile that, sir? And perhaps also for sustainability, how can we help our people get over these ayudas by actually earning more?
There are many lessons that a country like us can learn in the governance of welfare programs. No? We have a good one. The 4Ps is a good system. It was informed by experiences abroad and our own experiences now. I can't imagine that we can completely get away from ayudas. No country has ever done that because they are needed. For especially that these are needed for addressing vulnerabilities or shocks suffered or faced by households. In advanced countries, of course, there are formal institutions like insurance programs, wage, but a country like like us has quite weak insurance programs yet. We need access for households facing shocks. Like the thing about our country is that we are so much more exposed to
Typhoons,
shocks,
natural calamities.
calamities than many other countries, and that's why you need to have this ayuda even more. But it must be designed properly. It must be targeted properly so that the fiscal implications of undertaking or implementing ayuda will not be too burdensome and will be sustainable.
With single-digit poverty levels being achieved, and you had actually mentioned that the components for this were the expanding economic opportunities for our people, but also effective social protection. Do you believe that the social protection programs of the government have in fact been very helpful?
I think it does. It has been helpful, especially the 4Ps, and some studies have shown, and there will be a forum in the coming days and the social protection system. But there are some programs that are working well, but I think that these
Overall,
programs need to be tightened, need better governance, and the institutions surrounding it, so that the benefits of this program will reach the intended beneficiaries
and be sustained
and remain sustainable. We can, I think, make these ayudas more effective and can reduce the overall cost, but still achieve better results.
With respect to the income, Sec, how has it been throughout the years? I noticed that for the comparison of these levels, you compared 2021, 2023, and 2025. Of course, one of the factors here is that the Gini coefficient, and we're looking at that. So could you tell us about how this metric is used?
Oh, of course, apart from the poverty, as I mentioned earlier, just to put the context, no? The impact of economic growth and poverty depends on two things: the rate of growth and the distribution of the gains of that growth. And a metric that we often use to accompany poverty incidence is what we call the Gini ratio, which measures the overall distribution of incomes or expenditures in a society. Usually it has a value of 0 to 1, 0 being perfect equality, 1 being the perfect inequality, where only one person gets all the benefits of growth. Now, we have, for so many decades, we have been usually above 0.4. Which for the World Bank is a number that puts us into high inequality category of countries. But in the recent 2 or 3 surveys years of family income expenditure surveys, so that numbers come down to 0.39, which is which translates an improvement in the distribution of incomes, and that has quite a significant impact on poverty, because it does mean that a higher proportion of the benefits of growth are going to the lower income distribution, part of that distribution.
So less inequality.
So less inequality. But that's only one
The trial is
indicator of
resumed.
inequality. There are so many dimensions of inequality that I often looked at also.
May
Income
we
inequality is
hear
one,
from
but
the
there's also
counsel for the
inequality
respondent with respect to the proposed
access to
stipulations
health, access to education,
on
access to social
item number
protection, access
25
to housing, and so on.
in regard to the
These are
documents?
We can stipulate on item
usually
number
measured,
25, Your
and,
Honor,
we have some
and on
metrics
the
for that as
documents
well.
listed.
Speaking of metrics, Sec, with
under
respect
that,
to the poverty
paragraph
threshold,
from
there
A
are some critics
to
who said
V,
that
Your
the
Honor.
From alpha to
measure
victory.
or the ruler
Yes, Your Honor,
for
subject to
this,
comment on
is
the
not
eventual
right. Could we address
Thank you very much,
that?
counsel.
What is
Thank you
the-
for helping the court in abbreviating
what
the
have you been
proceedings.
using as
Now,
your
Honorable Chua, who
basis in
again will be the
mentioning
one
this
to present
throughout the years, 2021,
witness,
2023, and
Ortonio?
2025?
When
The counsel for the
started,
prosecution, Attorney
in,
May Divina Gracia.
2022.
Attorney May
devised a PDP,
Divina Gracia.
we
You
set
are
a
recognized,
baseline,
ma'am.
For
Your Honor.
poverty.
Yes,
using
Attorney
the
Sheila?
current
May
On the
I-
part of the
poverty
respondents?
methodology
May I
of
also
measurement
ask
at that time.
that Attorney Christine
And
Ferrer
our
be
goal was to
recognized
reduce that
as
number
counsel
that
for the
existed then
defense today, Your
to,
Honor,
to single digit.
for this witness.
Attorney Ferrer.
We have to be using consistent
recognized.
ruler,
Thank you, Your
the
Honor.
metaphor, no? To measure
Good morning,
the
Your Honors.
progress over
Is it
time.
correct to address you, Attorney May?
Yes,
to,
Your Honor.
to
So it'll be
say,
Attorney
to
May
find
and
out
Attorney
whether
Christine.
our programs,
Yes, Your Honor.
policies, strategies are working, are delivering.
Call your
to-
witness, Attorney May.
To achieve that objective. no?
Your Honor, we would like to call to the witness
So
stand
that's what we,
our sixth witness in the person of Mr. Lemuel G. Ortonio.
stick to the.
The clerk of court is
metric.
directed through the OSA to
Of course, we
kindly
adjust that
situate
for,
Mr.
changes in
Ortonio
cost of living, for inflation,
at the witness stand.
and measure the progress. Now, the controversy may be, or part of the controversy or the claim is that that metric is now low, and we agree to, that deserves a review, and we have already almost.
The clerk
completed
of
the
court is
review,
directed to administer the oath to the
metric.
witness.
Mr.
But
Ortonio, please
my
raise your right
view
hand.
is that if you
You,
look at
Lemuel
the,
G. Ortonio, do swear that the evidence you
at
shall give
where we
in
are
the case
today,
now pending between the Philippines and Vice President Sara
think that
Zimmerman
it's-
Duterte shall be the
it's,
truth, the whole truth, and nothing
proper
but the
that
truth.
we,
So help you
we
God.
use the same metric
You have to.
throughout, and then
Kindly place on the record
maybe
because
in
it
the
was
ne- in the
inaudible
next
that the
government,
witness
the next
responded in the
administration,
affirmative by
can set
saying,
their own metric standard
yes.
to measure their progress.
Attorney May,
In the
your
meantime,
witness for direct
we are
examination, kindly
preparing
make the offer.
Yes, Your Honor, but
for
before we
update
proceed to
of
our
the,
offer, Your Honor, we would
of
like
the
to
thresholds,
just read for the
and
record
by the way,
the
some
matters
also
that were
say
already
that
stipulated on Your Honor
because we
for,
are now an upper
for
middle income
avoidance of
country,
doubt.
we should
You may
now,
do so, counsel. You may
use
proceed.
So,
the metric
first,
poverty
that
threshold
the
for
witness,
upper middle
Mr.
income
Lemuel
Can I
G.
do that?
Ortonio,
Not yet.
is the
No,
Assistant
I think that's,
Secretary and
I
Assistant
think that's
Chief of
quite
Staff
right,
of the Office of the
because
Vice
what that means
President.
is, first,
Second, he
no
holds
country
the
has ever done
position
that
of
when you
Assistant
move
Secretary
from
at
one year
salary
to
grade
another year,
29.
you pass,
Third,
you graduate from lower
his
income to
appointment
upper
is
middle income
coterminous
country, you
with the term
suddenly
of the Vice President.
increase your threshold
And
by
fourth,
almost twice,
his position
for,
is
for
one of
example,
trust and
Vietnam,
confidence.
Thailand, Indonesia,
May
China.
the defense kindly confirm if those are all the matters that
including
you're willing to
Vietnam,
stipulate
they
on.
entered,
As well as,
not
sorry, Your
Vietnam.
Honor,
They-
they're also
they
stipulating
entered
on
that
the
upper
authenticity
income
and the genuine
class category
execution
years ago.
of the documents
But they are still
listed
using
in paragraph 25
national
of the
poverty
request for
lines
stipulation.
that pertain to the lower
Attorney Christine?
Yes, Your Honor,
middle
subject
income
to
country.
For
cross-examination.
consistency.
for consistency. I
Duly
guess
noted.
I don't know, but
Kindly
that's,
proceed with your offer, Attorney May.
That's
Your Honors, we are offering the
what, they have
testimony
been
of Mr.
doing.
Lemuel G. Ortonio to qualify him as a hostile witness.
We see that
and to
I
prove
have
the
just
following.
look at the various
Number
poverty
one,
lines of various
The
countries and
confidential
where we are
funds
in
answered
relation
to
and what
no
is expected of
legitimate
us given our per
confidential
capita income. No?
purpose.
We are indeed below, slightly below
The amount was
what's
requested
expected as
before the
poverty
supporting
threshold
plan
for
was
given our
produced,
current per capita
and the
income,
2023 plan
gross national income
just
per capita.
repeated the operative
And we
language
need to adjust
of the
that.
2022
But maybe in the
plan.
next administration,
Nauna ang
That's
250 million,
recommended.
sumunod
think
ang
that's,
plano
usually the
matapos
practice,
itong hingin ng
in many
DBM.
countries. But
Hindi plano ang
still,
nagtakda ng
we
halaga.
can help that
Ang halaga
process
ang nauna
going forward
sa
so that
kahinabol ng plano. Number two,
things can turn
the
smoothly.
respondents'
Yes, looking
handprints are
forward
on every
po.
document
Earlier,
that
if you were
mattered.
the news, Moody's
Mula
have
request
recalibrated our
hanggang
GDP growth
liquidation,
rate,
nasa
looking forward
mahalagang
to just
dokumento
3.6%.
ang kanyang
Although I remember
otoridad
from the BCC
at
meeting that they said that
pag-aproba.
it's also recalibrated
Number
to
three,
3.5 to 4.5%.
the reports
This is
were
going
written
to affect our
to
poverty
fit the
threshold
rules,
level,
not
and
the
this was a
facts.
fair assessment by Moody's.
Apat na
Yung
ulat,
poverty incidence, yeah.
Poverty
isang
incidence,
template.
yes.
Mga halagang
that's still
hindi
quite a
nagbabago
growth. Our
at laging eksaktong
population growth is
125 million.
1.7%, right?
Not a peso more, not
and
a
so if you
centavo
are
less.
able to grow at
Walang
3.5
natira,
to 4.5,
walang
which is what
sinauli.
you are targeting
Number
for
four.
this year, then that's still
5
quite
days
sizable
after
growth.
COA
But
questioned the medical and food aid
that's still going
item,
to be positive
the
for,
line disappeared
for,
while the report still totaled
poverty
exactly
reduction. The only
125
challenge
million.
that we have right now
Question
is
ng
apart from
Commission
the
on Audit,
recovering
ang
growth
medical
is
and
the
food aid
inflation. We
na
have to
may
reduce
halagang
that
40
inflation,
million, 42
further down.
million, at
And
40
so
million.
I think final
Sa
question po,
tatlong
sir, are things
unang
looking up for
accomplishment
the Philippines?
reports.
It's been a great achievement for
Makalipas
upper
ang
middle
5
income
araw,
status and
wala
our
na ito sa huling
poverty threshold
accomplishment
levels being
report.
single digit now.
Pero
However,
125
we do
million
have the
pa rin
challenge of the low
ang
GDP
kabuuan
growth
ng
rate.
halaga.
How do we address this
Number
moving
5,
forward to finally achieve
in 2
our
years,
Philippine Development Plan?
not one area,
number
not one operation
one
was ever named.
is that
Daang-daang area
we need
ang
to
iniulat.
reverse
500 million ang ginastos.
the
Ngunit wala
consumer
ni isang
business,
lugar, ni isang operasyon,
sentiments toward the
ni
positive
isang
side.
petsa
And I
ang
think that,
pinangalanan.
we're going there. And,
Number 6,
and
the liquidation was late, irregular, and backdated.
Our ability to
10 buwan
get
huli ang mga
investment
resibo.
going, particularly public
Mahigit
investment.
100
I think
ang may
it's the
petsang
major,
isang
it's a sharp
taon
contraction in
pagkatapos
public
ng di
investment,
umano'y
in the
bayaran.
last,
Number
quarters,
7,
now three
the
quarters,
certifications
that,
vouched for nothing
contributed
and were signed by the
sharp
man
slowdown in-
who received the money.
in GDP. And then it's
Walang
complicated
untoward
by
incident.
the, Middle East
Iyan
conflict,
lamang ang pinatutunayan.
that brought up, inflation.
Walang halaga, walang
So all
pangalan,
these combinations
walang lugar
led
at
to,
walang petsa. At ang pumirma,
to that,
ang mismong tumanggap ng pera.
or that is
Number 8,
deep in the business and
the 500 million
sentiments.
bought protection, the Vice
Hopefully,
President
I think in the
already
second
had.
half we are
And against threats,
catching
the
up with
AFP
the,
and the
with
PNP
public investments
were already paid
we
billions
hope that
to
that will
watch.
also trigger
473 sundalo at
improvement in
polis na ang
confidence
nagbabantay
in the-
sa kanya.
in the public
Sahod
sector,
ng
in the,
Republika.
private sector.
Well,
Mula
things
sa
are
ibang
looking
pondo.
up, so congratulations,
Walang pangalawang
Sec. RC,
pangulo sa
on these,
kasaysayan ang nagkaroon ng ganito.
And really, you've been doing a great
At ang
job
mga
in our
bantang
economic
tinutukoy sa mga ulat,
transformation towards
ang
inclusive
NPA
and
at mga
sustainable growth.
teroristang grupo.
Thank you, Ramon.
Sakop na ng intelligence funds,
On that note, we're taking
ng
a quick
AFP
break. Coming
at
up, the
PNP.
U.S. launches
Bayad
Operation
ng
Economic
proteksyon,
Outcast
bayad
with a
ng
warning to other
pagbabantay,
countries still doing
bago pa
business with
ang kahit
Iran.
isang piso ng
And
confidential
the Philippines
funds.
is looking at more sites for AI
Number
hubs
9,
beyond New Clark City.
the
You can hear on
justification for the
Business 360.
confidential funds shifted with every finding. Sa DBM, safe implementation ng good governance programs, official engagements, and functional representation ng pangalawang Pangulo. Sa mga plano, confidence building for good governance programs.
Every day, new
Sabit ng
stories are being
2023
served. The freshest
Socio-economic
takes.
program delivery.
The stories that everyone
Sa
is
mga
talking about.
certifications,
The Daily
surveillance and
Dish.
information
Make sure you
gathered
don't
to
miss a
prevent
thing.
untoward
Only here
incidents from
on the
conspiring.
Billionaire News Channel.
Sa Protective Intelligence Operations Reports for intelligence gathering
Welcome back to
naman.
Business 360.
Sa
I'm
mga
Margo
sagot
Salcedo.
sa audit
The
observation
United States is
memoranda
escalating economic pressure on
notices
Iran
or
with a new
notice of
campaign to
suspension
cut off Tehran's
for
financial and
surveillance
trade ties
activities
across the world.
to determine
US Treasury
where
Secretary
best to
Scott
implement
Bessent
the
called it
OVP's programs.
Operation Economic
6 na
Outcast.
bersyon,
Treasury has
iisang
sanctioned
pondo.
60 individuals, entities,
Number 10,
and vessels tied to
the
Iran's
officials
nuclear
knew
and missile
answered
programs.
nothing.
Its cyber
man who
operations and
says
its
he knew
oil
nothing
revenue.
answered everything.
Washington is also
Lahat
threatening
ng sagot sa
secondary
COA,
sanctions against
pirma ng
countries and
testigong ito,
companies that continue
na ang
doing
sabi
business
wala
with
siyang
Iran.
personal na kaalaman.
Iran's
Ang mga
enablers
tunay na
purchase,
nakakaalam,
transport its
ang
petroleum.
respondent vice
They
president,
facilitate the flow
ang
of its
special
finances
disbursing
through
officer,
exchange houses and
at ang
free
colonel.
trade zones.
Wala ni
They
isang
welcome
sumagot.
Iran's flights and maintain
Number
registries
11,
on its behalf.
the
They turn a
explanations for the confidential
blind eye
funds
to
are
seaborne
sham.
fuel transfers
And the failure to account
overland
the funds
transits. They condone
gives rise to the
illicit
presumption
use
of
of their bank,
misappropriation.
all the while
Bago-bago ang
concealing the
paliwanag,
extent of their
walang
complicity.
detalye, walang
The president
dokumentong
is making
sumusuporta,
phone calls to world
pagtatakip,
leaders
hindi
with specific
pagpapaliwanag.
requests to cease
Hanggang ngayon,
their interaction
hindi na-account ang
with the
500 million
regime.
ng bayan.
We are already
Sa
seeing
ganitong
results.
kabiguan, ang batas na mismo ang
The
nagsasalita,
biggest test could be
prima facie,
China, Iran's
na
biggest
pinalalagay
oil
ng pondo
buyer.
ay ginamit
Though major
para
Chinese
sa
financial
sariling
institutions
kapakanan.
were not included in the
That
latest
would be
round.
all for you.
Iran, for its part,
Comment,
calls the
Attorney Christine.
warnings, quote,
Yes, Your Honor.
nonsense, and
Note
said that
that
it is
the
prepared
11
with a two-year plan.
items that were mentioned by
The Philippines is
the
looking beyond New
prosecution
Clark City
are
for
all
projects under
conclusions
the
of
US-led
fact and law, Your
Pax Silica
Honor.
initiative.
And
The Department of Trade and
actually,
Industry
they are
says the
mere
proposed AI
speculations and
industrial hub
conjectures,
in
Your
New
Honor,
Clark
not
City
being
is just one of
proven before
several
this
projects
honorable court.
being considered
And they are
to
all
build
theories
out the
and,
country's
with all due
AI
respect,
supply chain.
sound bites, Your
Other
Honor.
possible
Nevertheless,
locations
we
include
will
a separate industrial
cross-examine
hub
the witness to
focused on data
verify
centers and
the
a national
allegations
hub
or
for
to
integrated circuit design in Metro
disprove
Manila.
the allegations of the
DTI
prosecution.
says
Thank you.
government
They may be-
and the
they may be
developers have already
statements of,
agreed on terms for the
fact or
LGU
law,
in
counsel, but
NCR.
that's what they seek to prove.
Ito hindi
Through this
sa
witness,
funds ng
hopefully, by
gobyerno.
declaring him
That
as
you
a
have
hostile
to
witness
build
in
your
due
own
time.
roads.
Duly
Bring your
noted,
own power,
comment of the council for
and then
respondents
secure
noted. You may
and
proceed with your
reuse
direct
your own
examination,
water.
Attorney May.
So yun ho ang
Your
usapan
Honor, before
natin
I
kung sa
proceed,
magdi-develop
we would just like to request for a continuing authority for our assisting
Bayan
counsel,
Representative Percy
Attorney Oliver
Sendanya
C.
says he
Caido,
is more
to
alarmed
approach the
now that
witness and
multiple sites are
present
involved.
and confront him with the necessary and
Medyo mas
relevant
naalarma
documents
tayo,
whenever
knowing na
we mention
multiple
those
sites pala
documents.
ito.
Granted, as well as who would be the counterpart assisting counsel from the respondent, Attorney Christine?
Yes, Your Honor, Attorney David
Bring your
Gola.
own water and
And
Granted,
electricity.
insofar
Alam
as
naman po
both
natin,
parties are
pag
concerned in
tubig, doon po
regard to
matatap
their
sa ating
respective
water
assisting
table yan.
counsels,
hindi
who may
po
approach the witness at
infinite
any
ang
time
ating
during the
tubig.
direct
Finite
and
po
cross.
yan at kailangan
And
po
also,
yan
Your Honor,
ng ating
we
mga kababayan.
request a similar continuing
In
authority
other news, the Securities and
for
Exchange
us to
Commission is
flash
looking at raising
on
the
the
minimum
screen
capital
the
for
relevant documents
stockbrokers
when mentioned
above
for
the
the
current
appreciation
100 million pesos.
of this honorable
SEC
court
Chairman
and of
Francisco
everyone,
Lim
Your Honor.
says the review
Granted,
comes
likewise,
as the
including the
Philippine Stock
similar grant
Exchange
rather with
moves on
counsel
its own
for
plan to require all
respondents should
trading
she
participants
desire to do
to
so
hold
as well
100 million
during her
pesos in
cross.
capital by
Thank you, Your Honor.
2029.
You may
The
proceed,
SEC
counsel,
says
when you're
many
ready.
of its brokers
Yes, Your Honor.
have
Good morning,
been
Mr. Antonio.
investigated for manipulating
Good morning,
the
ma'am.
market
I'm
and for
good
breaking
morning.
compliance rules.
Mr. Antonio,
And they had very
naiintindihan
little
ko po na
capital.
ikaw ngayon ay
Raising the
nagsisilbing
bar could
Assistant
trigger
Secretary
mergers among the
and
exchange's
Assistant
roughly
Chief of Staff
130
sa
trading
Office of the Vice
participants
President.
and weed
Tama
out
po ba?
undercapitalized
That's correct.
players.
Kailan naman po kayo nagsimulang
And that's
manungkulan
Business 360.
bilang
I'm Margot
Assistant
Salcedo.
Secretary
Thank you for
and
joining us
Assistant Chief of Staff
here
sa
on
Office of the Vice
BNC, the
President?
Billionaire
I
News
started
Channel.
working as the Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff last July 2022.
Okay. Now, Mr. Antonio, at whose pleasure do you serve those positions?
I report directly to the Vice President, Sara Duterte.
And prior to becoming Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff, saan naman po kayo nagtatrabaho kung meron?
I used to work with the city government of Davao as the head of the Human Resource Management Office.
Yung time po ngayon na nagsilbi kayo na head ng Human Resource Management, sino naman po
dun sa isang
ang mayor?
lyric ng kanta.
Oo.
Na yung
The
nanay
mayor at
mo
the
ang
time is,
nagsabing parang anak,
the
mas
Vice
maganda to.
President.
Kasi habang ginagawa
And
ko yung
when did you
kanta,
serve as
may
such?
part doon na ano
As
eh.
head
At
of
kung
the
hindi
Human
ka
Resource
makita,
Department
makikiusap kay ba't
of
yung bathala,
the
hindi ko idea yun.
City
Yung nanay ko,
Government of Davao
nagluluto
City.
ng munggo.
I started
Lumingon
working
sa akin,
as
sabi niya,
head of
"Ano
the
ba yan?
Human Resource
Hindi
Management
naman
Office
rhyme.
in 2018. Starting 2018.
And kanina naman po kayo nagre-report nung nanunungkulan kayo bilang head of Human Resource.
Bakit
Human Resource
As
Department.
the head of the Human Resource, as the department that I report directly to the mayor and as well have reportorial duties to the city administrator.
What's the point of flood
Prior
control
to
in the
that,
Philippines?
Mr. Antonio, ano naman po ang
Join
inyong
Ronnie
naging
Puno
kasusulan kung
and
meron
Alex
sa City
Calleja.
Government of Davao City?
Prior to
What's
being
the
the
point?
human resource
This
head,
Tuesday,
I also
8 p.m.
headed the Davao City Investment Promotion
During rainy
Center.
season,
That's from
certain illnesses and
2016 all the
diseases
way to
become more common.
2018 as well.
Stay healthy with
And
these
then
reminders.
In 2010 to 2013,
1.
I served
Avoid
as
colds and
the,
cough.
Chief of Staff of the
Always
Office of
have
the
an
Mayor.
umbrella or raincoat when going out.
2008
Wash your
until
hands often.
2010, I served
Take
as the Chief of
multivitamins
Staff
to
under the
boost
Office of the
immunity.
Vice.
Drink more water.
Isa-isahin po natin.
Get your
Nung
annual flu
nanungkulan po kayo
shots.
bilang head
2.
ng Davao
Avoid
City Investment
leptospirosis.
Promotion Center.
Stay
Center,
out
sino
of
naman
flood
po ang
water. In the event that you
bilang
must
mayor
go through
ng
flood
Davao
water,
City?
cover
The
cuts
mayor
or
at the
wounds
time
before
is
doing
Vice
so.
President Sara Duterte.
Wash with clean
Noong
water
time
and
naman
soap
po
after.
nanungkulan kayo
Within 2
bilang
weeks of
chief
flood
staff,
exposure,
sino
take
naman po ang
note of
nanungkulan
possible symptoms
bilang mayor
such
at
as
the time?
fever, muscle
It's
pain,
the
or
Vice
headache.
President, Sara
If the symptoms
Tuloy,
persist, consult a
nanungkulan po
doctor.
kayo
3.
noong
Avoid dengue.
2008 onwards.
Cover
sino naman
water
po
storages.
ang
Get rid of
nanungkulan?
items
Or
that
anong-
collect rainwater.
Sino naman po ang
Use
nanungkulan
mosquito
bilang vice mayor
repellents.
at the time?
The
Stay
Vice Mayor
safe
at the
this
time
rainy
is Vice
season.
President Sara Z. Duterte.
A friendly reminder from Billionario News Channel.
So prior to 2008, saan po kayo nanungkulan o nagtatrabaho kung meron na?
The
Prior
audience
to
is growing,
2008,
and the
I
impact
worked with a
continues to
government-owned
expand
and
with
controlled
over
corporation,
2.29
and I also
billion
worked,
views.
at a local
Billionario
chamber of
News
commerce.
Channel continues to reach new heights, driven by
Maaari
more
mo
than
banggitin
406
sa
billion
konti nito
engagements
kung
and
saan
fueled
po
by
yun
2.64 million
My
new
first
followers
working
in less
experience
than
was
half a
with the
year.
Pag-ibig
More
Fund.
Filipinos
That
are
was,
turning to
4
BNC
years,
for
and then
trusted
I worked
journalism
around
and
4 or
meaningful
about
stories
4 to 6
because
months
every
with the Davao
story
City
we
Chamber
tell
of
is
Commerce.
guided by a simple mission: to be brave in pursuit of the
Mr.
truth,
Antonio,
to
in
tell
October
bold stories
2024,
that matter, and to
ano
go
naman po ang
beyond
mga
the
compulsory
headlines.
processes, if any,
BNC,
na natanggap ninyo
the
mula sa House
Billionario
Committee
News Channel.
on Good Governance and Public Accountability?
I was invited to appear before the committee hearings for the Committee on Good Governance.
At sa ano-anong petsa naman po kayo inimbitahang mag-appear?
As to the exact dates po,
Various issues
ma'am,
meet the
I
new
cannot
leaders
remember
of the Health
anymore the
Department
exact
and
dates.
PhilHealth.
However, there were
Good
several
morning. I'm Attorney
invitations
Karen
that were
Jimeno, and
extended
this
to
is
me.
at the forefront.
Okay, several invitations for several hearings.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Ano naman po ang naging tugon ninyo dun sa mga
PhilHealth
iba't ibang
members continue to
imbitasyon
demand
ninyo?
better services. Many
I,
lament their
one of
contributions
the
are
reasons
constant,
there was that
but they still
it's a
pay
mere
lot for
invitation.
medical
I'm sorry,
services.
Mr. Antonio, I have to cut you. Please just be
Meanwhile,
responsive so
several
as
hospitals in
not to
Metro
waste this
Manila
honorable
are
court's time.
overwhelmed
The
by
question is
an
merely,
upsurge in leptospirosis cases.
what was your response
Hopefully,
to
all
those
these issues will
invitations
be
for you to
addressed
appear?
by
You
new Health
mentioned
Secretary
several.
Dr. Edwin
So what was your
Mercado
response?
and new
The
PhilHealth
response was,
Director or
I will not
President,
attend the
Dr. Beverly
hearings.
Hall.
Okay,
To give
so
us
that
his
was your
insights, we'll be
response.
speaking with health reform
What,
advocate,
if
Dr.
any,
Tony
judicial
Dickerson.
remedy did you
Good morning,
seek
Dr. Tony.
against
Good morning,
or-
Attorney Karen.
against
Let's
those
start
invitations?
with the appointment
Sorry,
of
ma'am.
the new
When you
health
say judicial
secretary,
remedy,
what was your
what do
reaction
you mean?
Judicial
when you
relief,
found
did you
out
ask
that
for
former
injunctive
PhilHealth,
relief
President
against
Dr. Edwin
the
Mercado
compulsion
was
or the
appointed as
invitation
health
for you
secretary?
to attend
To me, that's
the
a welcome
hearings mentioned in
development.
those
In fact,
invitations?
in Billionaire,
The reason, ma'am,
the
was
scopes
that
I
it's a
mentioned
mere
No.
invitation.
Again,
there
Mr.
will be a good
Artanio,
replacement.
I'm sorry, I don't
It will
want to
be
be
Dr.
difficult,
Edwin Mercado.
but again,
Bago
let
pa
me
siya
just remind you to
ma-appoint.
please
Bago
be
pa
just
siya
responsive to
ma-appoint.
the question.
And,
The question is
Beverly
simply,
naman, Dr.
what
Beverly
judicial
po.
relief, if any, did
I know
you
her from way
apply
back.
for in
And,
response to
and
those
during the COVID
invitations?
pandemic, we worked
If I can
also
remember, ma'am, none.
during the syntax and universal healthcare.
And
then when I was
what
independent
was the subject matter
director of
of
the PhilHealth,
those hearings where you were invited,
nandun
if you
din
know?
siya as part of the
It's regarding the
DOST.
confidential funds.
Well, to me, they're capable, reform-oriented, and grounded on public health. But the $64 question is whether they have agility, sense of urgency,
Now,
moral
Mr.
courage,
Antonio,
and
what is your relation
Are they
with Mr.
persons or
Ernesto
leaders that can
Nemenzo
navigate
Ortonio
yung mga
Jr.,
political dynamics
who is the
considering
president and the
yung
member of the board of
pinanggalingan
directors
ng PhilHealth
of
is,
PNX Udena
diversion
Insurance
of the
Brokers
funds,
Incorporated.
which
Your
during
Honor.
the time of Secretary Herbosa as chairman of the
Attorney
board
Christine?
allowed the
Relevance,
transfer
Your Honor.
It
of
is
the
very
60
much
billion.
relevant, Your
And
Honor,
the
because
subsequent
this
year,
would prove
2025,
that this
zero
witness
subsidy ka.
and the
So the
respondent move in the same
trajectory
social
of the
circle And that
PhilHealth funds,
witness can practically become a
bumaba,
social pariah
underfunded siya.
if
So they're,
he
and last year,
speaks unfavorably of
129
the
billion lang
respondent.
with my IP
You're on a short leash, Counsel. Go to
Given
your
that
point.
they have only, they say
Objection
that
is
22
overruled.
months, but to me, SONA to SONA, that's will
So,
about
Mr. Ortonio,
12 months, and their
just to
time
repeat the
will be
question,
spent
what is your relation with
budget
Mr.
meetings,
Orto,
eh.
For this,
with
ngayong
Mr. Ernesto Nemenzo
pagkasalang
Ortonio
nila
Jr.,
as the new leaders
who is
of
the
DOH
president and the
PhilHealth,
member of the board of directors
salang
of
agad din
PNX
sila sa
Udena
budget
Insurance Brokers
hearings.
Incorporated.
Hindi, parang you're saying,
He's my father po.
mahati yung oras nila.
Mahati ang oras sila. So, kunyari, meron silang 5 pillars. Ang
At
ginawa,
ano naman po
una,
ang relasyon ng PNX Udena
ibig
Insurance
sabihin na,
Brokers
uh,
Corporation sa
it's a
Udena
unified
Management and
national
Resources
agenda.
Corporation,
Ang ibig sabihin, yung kanilang
which forms part of the
projects or
Udena Group
programs are
founded and
actually
controlled by Mr.
parallel
Dennis
to each
Your
other.
You mean DOH and PhilHealth?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Attorney.
Again,
So,
relevance, Your Honor, to
meron
the
sila sa
confidential funds. And
workplace,
she's on
communities,
short leash.
Attorney May,
primary
Attorney May,
care,
just-
digital
Is
technology,
this part of
PhilHealth, and
trying
strengthening
to
the public
qualify
institutions.
Mr. Ortonio as
But
a
to me,
hostile
kunyari
witness?
ako
Yes,
si
Your
Juan
Honor,
de la
this
Cruz,
will
and you
establish
have 22 months.
this witness has an adverse interest.
Yung pillars na
in this case.
ginagawa nila is actually for the long haul eh. You have-
With your indulgence,
So sa akin, ang
as well as with the
practically 12
permission
months
of,
na lang sila. Kasi
counsels for the
after the son of the
parties,
president,
I think it has been
the
established
president
that
may be
Mr.
considered
Ortonio
lame duck, eh, to
serves at the pleasure of the
navigate
Vice
that, eh.
President, has been
And in
working
order
for
to
her
get
for quite some
the-
time, and is serving
that
up to
those
now. Correct me if I'm wrong,
projects,
Mr. Ortonio.
they have
With the Vice
already
President.
370
And that
billion
if the
lang
Vice
to contend
President is
with, eh.
impeached and therefore
And
removed from office,
yung kanilang
pati kayo
ginagawa,
matatanggal pa, di ba? Dahil coterminous
kailangan
kayo.
nila ng pera.
That's
Pero
correct, Your Honor.
tinatanong ko lahat ng
and
mga
that
pasyente.
as far as we know, until
Ano ba
today,
ang
you
mas
are still
impactful?
working with the Office
Yung
of the Vice
out-of-pocket
President and
expenses.
serving under
Ang
that
talagang
capacity.
hinahanap
Coterminous.
Hinahanap
ng mga
nila.
tao.
Yes, that's correct, Your
So,
Honor.
but
To abbreviate the
let's
proceedings,
talk about the prior
the court
leadership
declares
so that
Mr.
we know
Ortonio
kung
as
anong
a hostile
kondisyon
witness based
ang
on his
naiwanan
adverse
ng
interest
DOH and PhilHealth. But,
vis-a-vis
with
the
DOH,
respondent and
there
the
was a
prosecution,
string of,
and that therefore
well,
Counsel Attorney
for
May can
Vergere,
ask
parang
leading
ang tagal
questions,
bago
but again,
nakahanap ng
pursuant to
health
the rules,
secretary, right? We had
may not
Vergere
ask
as the acting
leading
secretary for about
1.5
questions.
years.
You may
Oo,
proceed,
so,
ma'am, accordingly.
Limited lang yung
Thank
pwede
you, Your
nyo
Honor.
gawin. And then, when
Mr.
Ted Robosa
Ortonio,
came in,
I am showing you
parang ang dami namang naging controversies.
video,
But what finally
video
led to
footage
his resignation,
of
would you know?
the hearing
He cited health reasons, but dito kasi
of
parang
the
health reasons is
CGGPA
a catch-all
on November
for
25,
other things eh.
2024.
But ano talaga yung
May I request, Your
dahilan
Honor,
sa
our
pagkakaalam
assisting
kung bakit
counsel
nag-resign
Well,
si
well, during
Secretary
that
Presentation to the
time,
technical booth
pagka may cabinet
to play the
reset,
said video
isa siya sa
footage.
laging nandun na ipapalit.
Yes, oo.
Oh, so I think yung mga ombudsman cases niya, procurement problems, the many trips abroad,
Continuing authority
tapos
has been
yung
granted to
malaki niyang
counsels.
donation sa
You may proceed
World
accordingly,
Health
counsel.
Organization, bigger than Singapore, if you remember that.
At business class pa yata yung ginamit
business
nilang
class.
seats, I mean,
Oo.
to travel, right?
travel,
Kaya
right.
na-question din yun.
Na question.
Oo.
So, and then,
The Vice President.
yung hindi pagprotekta
Mr. Lemuel
sa
G.
PhilHealth
Artonio,
funds.
Assistant
kumbaga,
Secretary and
yung
Assistant Chief of
kanyang
Staff.
term ni Dr.
Miss Winnie G.
Herbosa
Diego, Chief
was
of Public
actually
Assistance.
marred by so many controversies.
Mr. Ortonio,
Eh,
ano ang relasyon
hinahanap
mo
ng tao yung
sa Lemuel G.
PhilHealth. Eh, yun
Ortonio
pa
na
naman ang
nabanggit
hindi niya
sa video na
naprotektahan
iyon na aming pinakita?
Kaya problematic. So you
That's
would,
me po, ma'am.
are you saying yung
At
cumulative
ano
na
naman,
ito, yung
at
that
tama ba,
triggered the
kinukumpirma mo ba
resignation of
na
Secretary
ang
Ted
event na
Herbosa?
recorded
Right.
dyan sa
But,
video footage na yan
when he was
ay ang hearing ng
replaced by
CGGPA
Pujalte,
noong November
bakit ang ikli rin ng
25,
term
2024?
ni
Shortest
That's
siya,
correct.
Jose
28
Pujalte?
days.
Yes.
At Mr. Ortonio,
What happened
maaalala mo ba
The
na
first
sa
one,
hearing na
may
yan,
private citizens
sinabi
group
mo,
na nagsabi
and I
about
quote,
na
you
siya
provide
casino
overall
gambler.
supervision for
Right.
the internal
And
affairs
then I think
of the office of the
biggest
Vice President.
trigger
End of quote.
was the 3 billion
That's correct po.
anti-TB drugs.
At
na
pinapatutuhanan mo rin ba
And I think,
na kasama
quoting him,
ng
ang laki-laki ng perang to
supervision
para
na yan,
approvean ko kaagad
ang
to.
supervision
So,
sa
maraming
Administrative and
doon,
Financial Services Office
pagka hinold
at
mo
Strategy
yan,
Management Office
paano na yung
ng Office of the
serbisyo
Vice
for
President.
tuberculosis.
That's correct po.
So I think
Ngayon,
those
Mr.
two
Ortonio,
issues in a span
Tama
of
bang
28
sabihin
days,
ng
mabilis.
Administrative
Kaya
and Financial
napalitan
Services
kaagad siya.
Office?
And then,
Ito ang
funny
opisina
lang,
sa Office of the
Secretary
Vice
Herbosa,
President na
health
in
reasons
charge
ang sinabi.
sa
And
pangkalahatang
then,
budget ng OVP.
Si
That's
Secretary
correct po.
Pujalte,
Kasama dito ang budget
reasons kaya
preparation,
siya nag-resign ay health
That's
reasons
correct.
budget
din.
disbursement,
Hindi ba nag-vet
accounting,
siya and then
at liquidation.
sinasabi
That's
kung
correct.
ikay medically fit for work.
And
diba? And then health
since you
reasons
exercise
na. But
supervision
the obvious thing,
over this office,
hindi siyempre nagustuhan yun.
sa
yung mga
pangkalahatan,
bagay na
tama
yun.
bang sabihin,
Right?
So what do you
generally,
think is
walang
a
pondo
big
ng OVP ang
stumbling block that
hinihiling,
was left behind
nilalabas,
by
ginagastos
these
o
two
inililiquidate
leaders?
na
For
wala sa inyong
Pujalte,
kaalaman at
28 peso,
supervision. Tama ba?
Very minimal, if any,
Generally,
impact
Mr.
sa
Arton.
health
Generally,
Yes.
yes.
department, but for
Ngayon,
the
ang
past
Strategy
leaders of the
Management Office
PhilHealth
naman,
and DOH,
ito
ano yung
ang
malaking
tanggapan ng
stumbling block
OVP
that you
na
see
nangangasiwa
for the
sa
two leaders to make a
strategic
reform?
planning, management,
Sa akin, yung
monitoring,
pillars nila
evaluation,
would be top.
organizational
what
development,
are
at
those?
iba pang
If they could
kaugnayan ng
reduce the
tungkuling
out-of-pocket,
pamamahala
World Bank
ng
says
OVP.
it's
Tama ba?
44%.
That's correct.
Pero tingin ko,
So, kasama
kasi
dito,
22
ang pagbuo
data yan World
At
Bank.
pagsubaybay sa
Siguro
mga programa,
60%.
proyekto at aktibidad
Ang Thailand-
Ang
ng
kaya
tama ba?
ibigay ng PhilHealth,
That's
kaya
correct.
nila up
Hindi.
to 60%?
No,
Or-
60%
So ngayon,
yung out,
dahil din sa iyong
sinashell out
pag-amin,
natin.
tama rin
Yes,
bang
oo.
sabihin
Pero to what extent
na
can we
bawat
reduce
programa ng
Well,
OVP
kung
ay dumadaan sa
matataasan ng
SMO?
budget, kasi ang budget
for
na
all
hinihingi
the
nila
activities.
this year, 370.
At
But they
dahil
have
kayo ang
arrears na
nagsusupervisa
330
sa SMO,
Meaning,
kayo rin ang
arrears
nagsusupervisa sa mga programa,
government.
proyekto
Yes, from the
at
syntaxes,
aktibidad nito. Tama
PAGCOR,
ba?
and PCS.
General supervision po.
330 yun na dapat binigay dapat
short,
yan sa PhilHealth.
Or sa madaling
Oh,
salita,
dapat
bawat
ibigay.
programa ng
Kung
OVP
600
ay dumadaan
billion,
sa
I think,
inyong supervision ng
based on
dalawang
actuarial,
beses.
it might
Una,
be, kasi ang
kapag ito ay
projection niya nung
pinaplano ng
pinirmahan
SMO,
2019,
at pangalawa,
in 10 years,
kapag binabayaran
dapat
ito
10%
ng
na lang
EFSO.
dapat
Tama
ang
ba?
babayaran
Yes.
ng
ang
bawat
sarap naman
Pilipino.
kung magkatotoo yan, no?
Oo,
tama rin
tingin
bang
mo.
There was a
sabihin
plan years ago
na ang mga
ganun na yung
direktor ng
trajectory
dalawang
natin.
Ang
opisinang
trajectory
ito ay
natin
nagugulat
pataas
din sa iyo?
yung PhilHealth
Tama ba?
funds eh.
Oo,
That's
na
correct po.
ibibigay dapat para
Oo.
mabawasan yung contributions
Yun.
natin.
Also,
Exactly.
And
tama
then,
rin bang
at some
sabihin
point, instead of
na ang
paakyat,
Vice
pababa,
President
naging pababa
mismo
yung trajectory.
ang nagtalaga
Kinuha
sa
ng
inyo
kinuha from PhilHealth.
Yes,
ng
na-
So tayo
supervision
naman,
over the
Bayad
umabot na
tayo.
sa
offices?
60% yung
Yes,
contributions
that's correct. As
natin.
part of the organization.
Yung out of pocket natin.
Out of pocket natin. So,
Yeah.
so may direct contributors.
At
Ang
tama rin
problema,
bang sabihin
yung
na
syntaxes
kaugnay ng
that
inyong
will be for the
supervision
indirect
sa
contributors, yun
SMO
yung mga
at AFSO,
40s, yung mga
ang anumang
may
direktibang
kapansanan,
natatanggap
yung mga
ninyo
elderly
ay sa
citizens.
huli
Yun ang nawalan
nagmumula
eh.
sa Vice
So
President.
ngayon, through the
That's
years
correct.
pala, from 2022 hanggang ngayon, ang arrears sila
Tama rin ba na
accumulated
sa
based on the
pagganap
report
ng
of
inyong mga
Senator Pia
tungkulin,
Cayetano and
sa huli
Senator
kayo
Lauren
ay
Legarda.
nasasaklawan ng mga direksyon
And
at
also from
instruction
the-
ng Vice President.
Data given to me by Professor
That's
Shelo
correct.
Magno, ang arrears nila sa
In
atin
short,
330.
the official acts that
So,
you perform
ngayon,
in the
dapat
discharge of
isoli
those
yun eh.
responsibilities
Kasi kung
are done
So, soli
pursuant
yun. Hindi mo marirealize
to
yan eh.
authority vested in
So,
you by the
kung
Vice
isosoli
President.
yan,
That's
yung
correct.
top killer diseases ng country,
Now,
matataas mo
pumunta
sana
naman
yung
tayo
case
ngayon,
rates.
Mr.
Yung
Ortonio,
mga heart attack, cancer,
sa
stroke,
sulat
yung mga
kung saan
dialysis
nagsimula ang lahat.
patients, yung mga COPD. These
So,
five diseases would
Mr.
account
Ortonio, you
for
assumed your possession, you
80%
mentioned
of the
earlier,
deaths.
as
So yun ang
Assistant
may impact
Secretary
kay
and
Juan de la
Assistant
Cruz
Chief of
kagad,
Staff
yung pag-hospital.
noon lamang July
At
1,
ang pangalawa, na tingin ko,
2022.
prevention.
Tama ba?
That's
Pero
correct.
So
dapat
that was
legislation din. So,
Yes.
so di ba perang
And
kailangan nila? Why not
you will
increase
confirm
again
na
taxes for
pag-assumo ng inyong
tobacco,
possession,
alcohol,
around that time,
vape under taxan,
walang confidential
and then
fund
sugary
ang Office of the
beverages.
Vice President.
So you reduce
Tama ba?
these
That's correct.
non-communicable or lifestyle diseases, so health measure, tapos
Which
revenue.
means
And you're saying
na
that
yung
you reduce
successor
the
ni Vice President Sara
diseases.
Duterte,
let's say
na
diabetes,
si Vice President
Yes.
Leni
high blood
G.
pressure
Robredo,
by
walang
giving
confidential
the
funds.
maintenance
Your Honor,
medicines
please.
for free or reducing
Yes, Attorney.
your
No
out-of-pocket?
basis, Your Honor, and conclusion of fact.
Dalawa.
Kindly clarify,
The medicines kasi curative.
Lenny is
eh,
not the
downstream
successor
siya eh.
Sorry,
counsel.
predecessor,
ang
Your Honor.
syntaxes natin
Exactly.
upstream. So if we want
the kindly
preventive,
reform
that is
counsel.
education and legislation.
Mr. Antonio,
But
do
education
you
has never
confirm
been effective.
that Vice President Sara
ang
Duterte's
problem, ang
predecessor,
dami pa rin, alam ng mga tao, bawal
former Vice
manigarilyo, bawal
President
inom na
Leni
alak,
G.
pero
Orton.
ginagawa pa rin
So
eh.
you're saying
Lenny-
pag taxes, at least
Leni
it's a
Robredo, Your
deterrent.
Honor.
Deterrent
Leni
siya.
Robredo.
At talaga naman,
She did not have confidential
ang
funds.
experience namin
Your
from
Honor,
2012 hanggang ngayon,
Yes, Counsel.
bumaba talaga ang
Incompetent.
naninigarilyo.
He's not a staff
dahil
of
nga
Leni
tumaas.
Robredo.
Pero
If he knows-
nagkaroon naman ng
If
vape.
he knows,
yun ang
So you're saying
ipinalit.
If you know, Mr. Ortodo,
That
you
is
can
under
answer.
tax.
If you
Dapat-
don't,
And
give me
then,
answer so as well.
i-accompany ito ng
Based
sin
on
taxes to
the
prevent
records that
people
we have,
from using
there's
yung
no
mga
record
nakakasira sa
of
health nila.
confidential funds.
I-accompany ng higher
Ito ang dahilan
benefits for
kung
PhilHealth.
bakit
Exactly.
humiling ng
Okay. So,
confidential
yun ang
funds ang
prevention
OVP sa
side.
DBM. Tama ba? Noong
Prevention by
2022.
education,
Dahil wala
family
kayong
counter,
dinatnan na
lawsuit,
confidential
whatever
funds
na
ng
gagawin.
pag-upo mo,
Pero
kasama
siyempre
ng
mga
pag-upo
ngailangan ng pera.
ng Vice President
So
Sara
you prevent,
Duterte.
and
Tama
then
ba?
may revenue ka by the
Yes,
sin
ma'am.
taxes. Kasi yun ang ginawa in 2012.
And this
during that
request
time.
for
And then, of
confidential
course,
funds,
keep the savings at bawiin yung kulang pang
ipinaabot ito sa
300.
DBM sa
Oo.
pamamagitan ng
Ano
isang
dati?
sulat.
Exactly.
Tama ba?
Parang yung
letter
ano,
request.
PDIC.
Letter request.
Oo, Philippine
Ngayon, I'm showing
Deposit
you
Insurance
Corporation.
Prosecution
May
Exhibit
plan, di ba nung nag-decide ang Supreme Court back in December
E-4-A dated August
2025 na
22,
isole ng gobyerno yung
2022.
kinuha nilang funding of about
Ito ang
100
nabanggit
billion.
mong letter
Nagkaroon ng
request
payment
for
plan
confidential
na dapat
funds in
supplied ng
2022.
gobyerno
Tama
na
ba,
isole
Sir Tonyo?
Sa PDIC.
Okay.
So sa PhilHealth ba may ganun din?
Yung Supreme Court decision
Yes.
na December 3, that's for
correct.
PhilHealth. Pero rider provision kasi yun na any excess funds. So nadama yung PDIC.
Sa huling pahina nitong
Pero
sulat na ito,
may ombudsman
there
case,
appears a
sinama ko yung
signature
PDIC
above the printed
kasi
name,
pati yung PhilHealth.
Sara
And
V.
that
Duterte.
Trigger
You will
actually,
confirm
the
that this
return
is the
this
signature
year,
of
nakita ko,
the Vice President.
57
Yes, I can confirm
billion
that this is the
so
signature of the Vice
2027
President.
NEP.
And you're
Pero
familiar
sa
with her
unprogrammed
signature, familiar
appropriations,
ka
dapat
sa
program
signature
din.
niya
Or else hindi
dahil
rin mapupunta,
sa
dapat diretso
panunungkulan
na
mo
kagad sa
Okay.
over
PhilHealth.
And,
almost
Dr.
2
Tony,
decades
you
with her
filed a
or under
case
her,
in the Ombudsman,
nakikita
as
mo
you
siyang
mentioned,
pumirma ng mga
at
dokumento at
nag-file din kayo
nakikita mo rin
against Executive
ang kanyang
Secretary
pirma sa
Laz
iba't ibang
Recto.
dokumento.
What
Tama
is
ba?
the status
Yes,
of
that's
that
correct.
case right now? But before you answer that
And on the
question,
basis
we'll
of
have to
this
take a short
letter
break.
bearing her
At the
signature,
forefront, we'll be right back.
tama bang sabihin na ang desisyon na mag-request ng confidential funds, it was the decision of the Vice President. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Throughout these proceedings, a certain name has been repeatedly mentioned. Paulit-ulit na nabanggit, si Colonel La Chica.
A political
Kilala mo
record,
siya,
a
tama?
nation on one
Yes,
as
I
the
know him.
impeachment
He's the
trial
group
of
commander
Vice
for
President
BPS.
Sara Duterte
You
unfolds.
mentioned Group
Every
Commander of
testimony,
SPG.
every
You will
motion,
confirm,
and every
Mr. Ortoño,
decision carries
kumpirma ninyo
consequences beyond the
na
halls of power.
yung
And
Agosto
your
22,
Billionario News
2022,
channel will be
hindi pa
there with
naitatalaga si
comprehensive
Colonel La Chica
expert
bilang security
analysis
officer ng
and
PNP.
real-time updates. VP
Yes, that's
Sara
right.
on
It started
trial. A
September.
BNC
Yes, in fact,
impeachment
he started
coverage.
only on September 1, 2022.
Every day,
Tama
news
ba?
stories are being
Yes,
served.
based on
The
documents.
freshest takes. The stories that everyone's talking
Let us now
about.
go
The Daily Dish. Make sure you don't miss a thing. Only here on the Billionario News Channel.
Yan ang nagpapatunay, Mr. Ortoño, na si Mr. La
Welcome
Chica,
back
si
at the
Colonel La
forefront.
Chica,
We continue our
ay noon lamang
conversation with
September
health reform
16
advocate
itinalaga
Dr. Tony
bilang
Villatron.
commander ng VP
Dr.
SPG.
Tony,
Tama ba?
You filed an ombudsman case against
Yes, that's-
Health Secretary,
Wait,
Executive Secretary
Di masyado
Ralph
clear
Recto. Ano na po yung status ng
Your Honor,
case?
may we request our assisting counsel
I filed
in the
cases
tech booth to
Executive Secretary
kindly
Recto
enlarge
and other public officials.
Granted,
Nag-ano pa rin.
so instructed.
copies of the documents being flashed on the
Hindi.
screen.
Nagpo-file ng affidavits, counter affidavits.
Yeah.
Pero wala pang decision regarding it.
Oo, so
Sir, what's
nasa
the
ombudsman
question
level
again?
pa rin.
Nasa
So
ombudsman
parang nasa preliminary
Etong
investigation.
sa letter na
stage pa
ito,
siya.
pinapatotohanan
Okay, and,
nito
let's
na si
talk
Colonel La
about
Chica
the
ay in-appoint
leptospirosis
lamang o itinalaga
issue
lamang bilang
wherein
commander ng
some
VP
hospitals in
SPG
Metro Manila
noon
are
lamang September 16,
500%
Yeah.
overcapacity.
That's San
2022.
Lazaro.
Tama
San
ba?
Lazaro po yun.
And then-
So,
Yes,
ano
for-
ang ginagawa ng DOH about this
Ma'am, I
to
think
ensure
the
that
memorandum is the
Filipinos that
designation
have
of
leptospirosis
Colonel La
Sorry,
Chica as
security officer.
security
Yes,
officer.
security
healthcare
officer.
services,
As security
parang mga
officer,
nag-overflow
based
na
on the
pala yung
document.
hospital.
Alam mo,
Yes.
time and
Now,
again, pag
balik
nanonood
tayo
ako
dun
ng
sa letter dated
press
August 22,
conference sa Malacanang
2022.
and ganyan.
Dito sa letter na to,
Nangyari
you
na
will
yan sa
confirm
Lazaro,
that the OVP
NTTI,
requested 4
backward
items.
capacity.
One,
Dapat
augmentation
hindi
of
mangyayari
financial
yan.
assistance
Kailan
and
kasi
subsidy.
cyclical
Two,
because of the
augmentation of
flat-
special
Noong unang panahon, di
duty
naman ganun ang
allowance.
baha eh.
Three,
So, na nagkaroon tayong
additional
flood control
192
problem.
co-terminus and
Tapos,
contractual positions.
garbage. Ang
and
garbage,
4
doon
confidential
pumupunta
funds.
ang
Tama
daga
ba?
sa iihi. So,
Correct, for the 4
chronically,
items.
And you will also
ang
confirm
areas
that
na
at the
yan,
time
bahain.
this document
So,
was sent to the
inaral ko,
DBM,
yan pa lang
Hinihanda ang
doxycycline
liham
na
na ito at
prophylaxis.
pinadala sa DBM
During the Vietnam
na iplano
War
na ng
and then
OVP ang
Panama
mga
Wars.
aktibidad nito
Yung mga
para sa
soldiers,
nalalabing bahagi ng
until
2022. Tama ba?
Pag may checklist na
That's
sila,
correct.
dala-dala nila yung doxycycline. Para pag
katunayan,
nag-wait sila sa river,
para
hindi
sa
sila
unang
nagle-leptospirosis.
tatlong kahilingan,
So it was written
nakapagbigay
in
na ang
the Journal of
OVP ng
Medicine
basihan ng mga hiling na halaga.
na 95% efficacy.
Nakalagay dito
So I was
ang
thinking,
computation kung
kunyari,
paano nakuha ang
may
halagang
pag-asa
hinihiling.
ka,
Tama ba?
i-deploy na
That's
kagad sa
That is
barangay
for
health workers yung
the first
doxycycline.
prerequest, the
Yung
augmentation of
Bulacan
financial
kasi,
Pagka alam na natin
assistance and
rainy
subsidy,
season na, kasama na siya
augmentation
dapat
of
sa
special duty
binibigay
allowance
sa mga
and additional
areas that are
192
prone to
quota meals and
flooding.
contractual
Oo,
positions.
bibigay mo siya kung ma-expose ka 3 days. Pero kung
And dahil
lubog ka
rin,
for buwan na, like sa
na-plot
Bulacan,
out niya na
1
yung mga
year na,
activities, programs,
areas na yan. Every
and plans
week,
ng
200
OVP ng
milligrams
time na
ka
yan,
para hindi ka
nakapaglakip na rin kayo ng supporting
malaleptospirosis.
documents
Kung hindi,
for
lagi
the
po naman
first
San
three
Lazaro and
requests.
Katy at other
Tama.
hospitals.
Yes, that's
Pati
So,
yung
ang mangyayari
projections,
niyan, ay hindi naman
mga relevant
matatapos
projections
yung
for these
flood
three
control project
requests.
kasi wala
That's
ka
correct.
namang popondohan pa.
But,
Yung
Mr.
garbage,
Antonio,
ganun pa rin.
kinukumpirma mo
habang
rin
may garbage ka at may
na
baha ka, may
for the
leptospirosis
OVP's
ka. So you
request
have
for
to prevent it
confidential
so that
funds,
hindi ma-overload.
in this letter,
Is the DOH,
walang
it's a good
computation na
suggestion, but
binigay.
is the
Tama ba?
DOH going to implement this
There
na
were-
For
there
that,
was-
let's
baba
limit
ang prophylactic, meaning
the
this
answer.
doxycycline
Sinasabi
at
nila,
the
pero-
level
in
of
that letter,
barangays.
no
Ang
computation was
suggestion ko,
provided.
kasi pag
Tama
baha
ba?
na, hindi na
That's correct.
makakapagpagpag.
There was
No
also
computation.
no projection provided
So,
in the
hindi
same
na
letter. Tama ba?
madideploy at
Yes,
kailangan
that's
yan
correct.
prescription eh.
And
But
also,
alam
there
mo
was
naman
no
magle-leptospirosis
physical
kasi
and
ang
financial
tagal-tagal
plan
na natin
attached to the
nanonood
letter.
ng press
For
conference
this
nila,
letter
di ba?
request
Yes.
na.
Tsaka paulit-ulit,
Paulit-ulit.
every
In fact,
year, alam
there
naman
was
natin
no
dadating ang
attachment
bagyo.
Pag bumagyo
supporting
ang demand,
the
magle-leptospirosis
OVP's
na.
request
So
for
dapat
confidential
yung
funds.
gift packs, nakadeploy na
Correct?
lahat yan.
There were no
Tapos pag summer
attachments,
sana,
ma'am.
January
Yes, there were no
to May,
attachments
mag-garbage
in support of your request for
collection na,
confidential
disposal
funds.
na.
Tama?
Tapos pamigay na yung mga doxycycline. Pagdating ng June, nandun na sa mga center sila.
Madali nang
Madali
ibigay.
na ibigay,
Oo.
oo.
What about
Yeah,
fumigation?
what's your response?
Hindi
Yes,
ba
that's
pwedeng
correct. No
maging part
attachment.
din yan ng preventive measures?
Hindi naman masyadong effective.
And
yan.
tama rin bang
Kasi-
sabihin
Hindi, kasi...
Mga pangdaga.
na
Hindi,
ultimately,
hindi,
ang
yung daga
nag-decide
kasi-
kung magkano ang
Pag-
hihilingin
pag nandun na yung
na
daga
confidential
talaga,
funds from the
andyan lahat
BBM
yung,
ay si Vice
problema
President
natin.
Sara Duterte.
Yung
Tama
sa
ba?
dengue, habang
Yes,
may
the
baha pa,
determination
may
for
dengue
the
pa rin.
amount
Thank you,
is
Mr.
in the
Kaya-
discretion of the
Kailangan
Vice
yung
President.
prophylaxis.
Thank you.
Kailangan matanggal yung baha at saka basura. That's causing the sickness eh. So
Now,
waterborne
going back to the letter,
diseases,
Dahil wala
leptospirosis,
kayong binigay na
magdadialysis
computation,
ka, mas mahal
projection,
yan.
or
So
supporting
dapat
documents,
yung
ang
doxycycline,
tanging
naisip
nilagay
ko lang,
lamang ninyo
inisip ko,
sa
ba't ba
request
naisip ng
ay
during the
ang
Vietnam War at Panama? Actually,
explanation
doon
kung
nga
bakit
nalaman
kayo
yun. So I was
humihingi ng
thinking,
request. Tama ba?
i-deploy na natin even before para
That's
hindi
correct.
catastrophic
And the
dialysis ang kailangan
explanation,
natin.
Yeah.
the
And
justification
then,
that
si
you
Beverly
gave
Ho,
was, and I
the
quote,
new PhilHealth president,
for and in
Dr.
consideration of the
Beverly,
safe
suggested
implementation
that
of the various
going to look
projects and
into
activities
front-loaded
under the
inpatient
Good
payments
Governance
sa mga
Program
ospital.
and the
Yeah.
conduct
Para,
of official
mas
engagements
mabilis mabayaran
and functional
ang mga
representation
ospital.
in
So
international
parang
and
bibigyan daw ng
domestic
budget
events
for hospital
as
at
instructed by the
when they
Vice
take in
President.
patients that are
End of
PhilHealth
quote. Tama
members,
ba?
ibabawas dun
Yes,
sa
as
budget na
instructed
binigay
by
sa
the
kanila
Vice
until ma-deplete
President.
yun. So do you think this might
as instructed by
be
the President.
a good approach so that
In
there
that
will
same
be more
letter,
hospitals that are
You
accredited
also
by
stated, and I quote,
That's a good approach. Ang
Various
concern
pro-
ko lang yung funding. Kung enough yung funding mo, kasi marami ka pang claims na hindi nababayaran, hindi mo pa
you
na-increase
committed
yung
to
case
formulate
rates mo.
programs, projects, and
ang point ko
activities
doon, where will they get the
relevant
money
to
for
national
that?
security
Kasi yung
and peace and
projects
order,
ni na
and is
Dr.
devoted to
Beverly
implement
Ho,
said
saka ni Secretary
PPAs
Mercado,
with proper
I think
security
it's for the
and
long haul
safety
marathon
protocols
eh. You need to
for
be a
the
sprinter
benefit of
right
the
now eh.
institution through the
because
OVP
of the time they
satellite
have left. Like you
offices,
mentioned, hindi
Oo.
talaga
partner
22 months yan.
stakeholders,
In your
and the general
opinion,
public,
they have
end of
around
quote.
12 months.
Tama ba?
You have 12
That's
months
correct.
eh.
So
Kasi
at this point,
SONA to
Mr.
SONA.
Antonio, tama
Kasi
ba?
after
Information
the
of
SONA,
counsel, can you ask your guy in
you
the tech
cannot
booth to kindly,
impose so much in
whenever
the
you refer
budget for
to a portion of the
2028.
letter, to
We
zoom
know
it
this is
in
the pivotal
so that it's
budget.
readable
But they
on the
say
part
this
of the
budget is
senator
election
judges,
campaign
because
budget eh.
we really
So
cannot
sana,
read
Pang
any part of it.
2027.
so sana makakuha sila dito dito ng budget
You may
from
proceed,
the sin
Councilor.
taxes and from the arrears.
So tama ba, Mr.
so
Tonyo,
that
na
they can
sabihin
implement these
na
five
nang
pillars,
pinadala ninyo
So,
ang sulat na
yung
ito,
five pillars sila, if I
ang
may
OVP,
suggest lang sana,
wala pang
dapat
programs,
they should be
projects, and
operating
activities
in
na
five
na-identify
express lanes
relevant to national
para
security and
wala
peace and
kang
order?
bottleneck.
Bottleneck.
Tama ba?
Sabay-sabay lang.
Dahil
Sabay-sabay.
sabi dito sa letter,
Ano yung pinaka-priority
you
mo? Sa akin, ang
just must
priority
commit
mo, ang
to
must mo,
formulate programs,
increase ng
projects,
budget
and
ng PhilHealth
activities
to reduce the
relevant to
out-of-pocket
national security and
expenses,
peace and
to
order.
reduce
So at
the
that point, wala
top
pa.
killer disease of the
Tama ba?
country.
Based
that
on the letter,
sasaya ang
there
bawat
is a
Pilipino.
commitment
Alam mo,
to submit
yayakapin ang
the
Pangulo
plans and
pagka
programs.
sa next zona niya,
Mr.
bumaba
Tonyo,
yung
walang sinasabi dito
out-of-pocket
na you
niya.
commit to
Sona
submit
to
plans
Sona,
and
we
programs.
have
Ang
now
sinasabi
less than a
dito,
year until the
formulate
next Sona of
programs,
President
projects, and
Bongbong Marcos.
activities.
Do
Tama.
you think
Correct.
it's possible that PhilHealth can reduce yung out-of-pocket ng mga PhilHealth members?
And
Yung
this is
tayo, pag
despite the
nagkasakit,
fact
pag na-ospital
na kanina inamin mo
nababa na yung kailangan nating
na
bayaran
nung pinadala
because
niyo yung
we
letter
paid
na
or
to,
due
more
sa
or
PhilHealth.
less,
I
na-identify
think
niyo na
magagawa.
yung
Kasi
mga
capable
plans,
naman sila
projects, and
competent.
activities of
But
the
I wish lang
OVP
sa
for
kanila
the remainder
three things.
of 2022.
Number
Tama ba?
one, yung
For the
sense of urgency.
for the plans
Number
and
two is
programs.
moral
Just
courage.
answer the
At the
question.
number
Your Honor,
two,
please.
number three is the
The witness is
excellence in
answering the
execution.
question.
Your Honor, the
Importante.
Counsel,
If I
let the
may,
witness answer. He
There's
was
no
in the
time
process of
na-
answering it.
Mawawala dito.
Let's see if
every,
it is
every
responsive
day,
or not.
every
It can
month
be stricken off if it's
na
not.
mabagal ka dito.
Yes, Mr. Tonyo.
Wala.
Thank you, Your
And-
Honor.
and you will
In the
be
context
hampered
of the plans
by
and
the
programs
typhoons
of
from
the
now till
office,
December.
what
there has
is
already
the
been plans already
hardest
at the beginning of the
stumbling block
term
do
of
you
the
see?
Vice President in July
Meron
of
yatang mga required by law. Yung
2022. That's why we were
contributions
able
natin
to implement
in terms
already
of kung magkano
several
dapat
programs and
i-contribute that's
projects that we will
provided
be
for by
implementing
law.
for
An-
the rest of
andun
the
na
year
yun,
and
yung,
for the rest of the term.
5%
Just to clarify,
premium. Ang
with
universal
respect to
healthcare
those
kasi,
plans,
ang
programs, and
purpose
activities
natin dyan,
relating to national
ma-increase
security and
natin
peace
yung case
and order,
rates natin para
ito yung
mabawasan
ipo-formulate niyo pa lang when you,
At sana,
when
may
you
reduce
sent
naman
out
sana
this
kung
letter
marami
because
ng
that is
pera,
what
5%
stated in the
to
letter. Tama ba?
3%.
Yes.
So that
That's
we
correct.
realize the universal healthcare na dinidiban natin. Na pag na-hospital ka, wala ka nang
You will also
babayaran.
confirm
Actually, ng
na
pangarap
wala
Pero
na
kung
ibang letter
yung
request for confidential funds in
pagka-reduce
August
ng ating
2022.
out-of-pocket when we
None.
get hospitalized, would that require a law or will that only require the action of
And
PhilHealth?
dahil wala pang
ano lang, PhilHealth lang
plans
mag-decide.
and
But alam mo, napadali yan during
physical
the
and
Senate
financial plan
hearing
na
sa
nakalakip
Health
dun sa
Committee.
letter nyo
Pagka
ng
mga senador ang
August 22,
nagre-request
2022,
dun sa
sumulat
mga
sa OVP
DOH at
ang
PhilHealth.
BBM
Kasi
requesting
sila
your
mag-a-approve ng
office to
budget
submit
So,
this
nangyayari,
physical and financial plan in support
kine-question
of
ng
your
mga
request for
senador na dapat
confidential funds.
bumaba.
Tama
Kaya
ba?
yung
Yes,
But
that's
di ba
correct.
dati, riniklamo mo rin yan na
And
bakit ang tumataas
the Vice
ay yung
President
mga
instructed you
yung
Yeah.
mga
Utusan ka,
ayuda,
inutasan ka
regarding
ng
sa mga
Vice President
politiko. When
na
in
sumagot
fact, it's
sa letter
our
na ito
right
ng
to get
DBM
healthcare
dated
through,
September
because we have
15,
PhilHealth, for example.
2022. I'm referring to
Nakikita mo ba
Prosecution's
na
Exhibit
madadivert na ang funds to
P-I-4-B.
more
Actually-
of PhilHealth benefits, hindi na masyado sa ayuda?
Actually, ang budget last year ng MAIPIP, almost one-third of the 129 billion ang budget ng PhilHealth last year. 53 billion ang MAIPIP. Potentially violation ng universal healthcare siya.
Yes,
Kasi
we are in
ang
receipt of
universal
this,
healthcare,
communication.
dapat PhilHealth ang single
At ikaw ang
payer.
inatasan
Dapat
ng
tanggalin yung
Vice
53
President na
billion
sumagot
at
sa letter
ilagay
niya.
sa
Tama ba?
PhilHealth. Wala
As
basta
part of
Babantayan
my
niyo ba yan
duties as
ngayon?
the
Ikaw, as a
Assistant
health
Chief of
advocate,
Staff,
babantayan mo yung
Ako,
budget?
I regularly
hindi, talagang
respond
pinupus ko
to
tanggalin. Babantayan ko talaga yan.
communication addressed to
And
the
then,
office.
matagal ko nang iniisip for a long time.
But
na dapat siguro i-file mo rin sa
Vice
Supreme Court
President knew
na
very
yung
well
MAIPIP
that it
should,
was you
actually
who
be
was
deleted
responding
or
to
scrapped.
that letter
Or
of the
declared
DBM, correct?
Declared
Yes, because as part of
unconstitutional
my
kasi
duties.
it's violative of a Republic Act, yung universal health care.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it kasi kung hindi mo yan
And hindi niya
tatanggalin,
naman
wala,
inassign,
mapapala tayo
inata
kasi
sa iba.
patronage politics yan.
Nang nalaman niya na ikaw ang
dapat
sasagot,
yung statement of
hinayaan
account
ka
mo,
niya at hindi niya
pagpunta mo
sinabi,
dun sa
iba na
BD,
lang ang sumagot. Tama ba?
doon lang yun at
Ma'am,
wala ka
for
naman guarantee
regular
letters pa.
communications within the
Maraming
office, it
salamat,
is the
Dr.
Assistant
Tony, and
Chief
good
of
luck
Staff
po.
who
Sana ay
signs the
patuloy niyong bantayan
documents
ang ating budget para sa
corresponding
much,
to
Attorney Karen.
other agencies. So
The
it's
Filipinos expect their
already
PhilHealth
inherent to the
contributions to translate
function
into
as
lower
the
medical
Assistant Chief of
bills.
Staff.
Yes,
While
Mr.
public
Antonio.
hospitals need
But
more
that
resources,
is
better
ultimately
facilities, and
subject
faster
to the
support.
decision and
The
discretion
new
of the Vice
leadership may
President.
bring
Tama
fresh
ba?
hope, but the real
That's
test
correct.
will be whether
So,
reforms are
dahil
felt by
yan ay
patients.
subject sa discretion
From
ng Vice
preventive
President,
care to
anytime
hospital
the
admission
Vice
to
President
the
can
final
revoke
bill.
that authority. Tama
Be
ba?
informed, be
Yes.
insightful of the news. I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno. Always
Now,
stay
following
at the
that
forefront.
instruction, you wrote a letter to DBM dated September 19, 19, 2022. Tama ba? I'm referring to Prosecution Exhibit T-I-4-C.
While you're showing the witness, Attorney May, the August 22, 2022 letter, what's the exhibit marking of that document, if any? For the record.
P-I-4-A.
P-I-4-A. Thank you.
The Philippines is moving fast. And so are
Witness
we.
may answer pertaining
Billionario
to
News
the
Channel
September
is
19,
now live on
2022 letter.
GSAT Channel 40.
Yes, I
reaching a
signed
broader audience
this
across
transmittal letter
Visayas
to
and
the
Mindanao.
DBM.
With brave stories and bold
In
insights
that
that
letter,
shape business,
tinukoy
economy,
ninyo ang
and the
Joint Circular
country. From Metro
2015-01,
Manila
tama ba?
and beyond.
Yes.
Billionario
So you must be
News
familiar with that
Channel.
Joint Circular, tama ba?
I'm
The
familiar
latest
to a
headlines
certain
before you even step out the door.
Walang mabilisang solusyon sa problema ng
pagbaha.
Yes.
magpapatupad
Because, Mr. Tony, you're an intelligent witness. You graduated with a bachelor's degree in arts and
Fast,
Ateneo
clear, and exactly what you need to begin your day.
Communication arts.
Magandang
You
umaga
also
ako si Willard Cheng.
have
Wake
a
up with
master's in
Metro
development
Morning
program from
with
University
Willard
of
Cheng.
Philippines.
Weekdays,
Yes,
7
development
p.m. on BNC, the Billionario
And another
News Channel.
master's of arts in psychology, is that correct? From Southville International School of Colleges.
That's correct.
And a diploma course from the Ateneo Center for Organization and Research and Development.
That's correct.
In fact, you work as a professor, nagturo ka sa Ateneo de Davao University. Tama ba?
Yes, for 1 semester.
Now, going back to the letter, in that same letter, ipinadala nyo sa DBM ang physical and financial plan. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
And that was the first time. Yan yung unang pagkakataon na nag-submit kayo ng physical and financial plan sa DBM in support of your request for confidential funds. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Also, of course, bago nyo isubmit ang kopya ng physical and financial plan na yan, I'm sure, tinignan at binasa niya at tinitindi nyo yung physical and financial plan. Tama ba?
Yes, I read the PFP.
Your Honor, we would like to confront the witness with a physical and financial plan.
Good morning, I'm Mai Rodriguez
Dated-
with the news this hour.
Bearing the date September 16, 2022, which is Prosecution's Exhibit P-I-4.
The impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte resumes for its 18th
Annex
day.
B.
Still on the alleged misuse of
So
confidential
this is an
funds,
attachment to
OVP
Exhibit
Assistant Chief of
P-I-4-A
Staff Lemuel
of Annex
Ortonio takes the witness stand as a hostile witness as prosecutors look into his role in the withdrawal of the OVP's 500 million peso confidential funds. Yesterday, former OVP Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta testified
Mr.
that
Ortonio,
75 million
dito sa
pesos
box
in
na
reported
may
confidential
nakasulat,
fund
prepared by,
expenses had
may
no
kasama ring
official receipts and
petsa,
that she
September
questioned
16,
former OVP Security Chief
2022.
Colonel Raymond
Tama bang
Lachica
sabihin
about
na itong
irregularities
September 16,
in some of the
2022, ito yung date
documents.
kung kailan na-prepare itong physical and financial plan.
Based on the document, ma'am,
verify
yes.
po ng mga
Ibig
acknowledgement
sabihin,
receipt na
nung
binigay sa
nag-request kayo
akin
ng
ni
confidential fund in
SO
August
Officer Colonel
2022,
Lachica,
wala pang na-prepare na
naitanong ko po
physical and
siya
financial plan.
kasi
Tama ba?
may
Yes.
napansin
This
po ako
physical and
na
financial plan was also
ang iba,
approved only
walang
on September
date,
16,
walang
2022
name, may
as
pirma.
shown
Ang
by
sagot naman sa akin ni
the
ISO
box
officer,
bearing that date
Ma'am Gina,
with
kung ano
the
man ang
printed words
binigay ko
approved by.
sa iyo na mga
Tama ba?
dokumento,
Yes, based on the
yun
document.
na
Based on
yun.
the document.
Kasi ang
At dyan sa box na may
ang
nakasulat
mga-
na approved by,
ang
may
mga
pirma ulit.
transaction or
Above the printed name, Sara Duterte. Yan ay pirma ng Vice President. Siya mismo ang pumirma niyan. Tama ba?
Yes, that's her signature, ma'am.
At dahil walang naka-countersign katabi ng kanyang signature, tama ba na yung dokumento na yan went straight to her without yourself or anyone reviewing that for her? Tama ba?
I can just personally say, ma'am, that the document, ma'am, did not pass through my office.
Okay.
Before you continue, counsel, the court noticed that the signature of the Vice President in this document appears to be different from the signature in the August 22 document. So the Vice President has at least two signatures so far. And you confirm that both are her signatures?
Yes, I can confirm, sir, Your Honor, that both are the signatures of the Vice President.
You can confirm likewise that they appear to be different, though.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Your witness, counsel.
So you confirm, Mr. Ortonio, that this fiscal and financial plan was approved matapos ang 25 days from your request of confidential funds to the DBM. Tama ba?
Sorry, can you repeat again the question, ma'am?
The fiscal and financial plan that was prepared 20 days after you requested confidential funds from the DBM.
I believe, ma'am, parang less than 20 days, ma'am, because the request was in August 2022, ma'am. More or less. Yes, that's correct. Correct. Yes.
And dahil nabanggit mo yung Now, the fiscal and financial plan indicated the supposed PPAs for which the confidential fund was allotted. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct, based on the document, ma'am.
At ang nakasaad dito ay good governance program. Tama ba?
Yes,
There
that's
was
correct.
no itemization of the programs and activities that will be funded by the requested confidential funds. Tama ba?
Yes, ma'am, based on the document
Yes.
presented.
And you will confirm that this good governance program, it's not just one particular program of the OVP. Tama ba?
Yes.
It is in fact, at kukumpirmahin nyo, na itong good governance program, ito ay umbrella program or umbrella brand ng flagship activities ng OVP. Tama ba?
Yes, that's
So
correct.
under that good governance program, merong mga particular na plans, programs, and activities. Tama ba?
Yes.
Kasama dito yung medical assistance, burial assistance, libreng sakay, mga satellite offices. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Subalit, wala nitong mga particular na activities na ito na isinaad sa fiscal and financial plan na inyong sinabit. Tama ba?
Yes, based on the submitted PFP.
You will also confirm na itong flagship program na good governance program, ito ay pinupondohan na ng regular budget ng OVP sa ilalim ng General Appropriations Act. Tama ba?
Yes.
Okay. Sa katunayan, sa 2022 GAA, may line item na 621.6 million na mismong para sa good governance engagements and social service projects. Tama ba?
Again, hindi ko lang po makita yung...
Maybe kindly request the tech booth to enlarge the image being flashed on the screen.
Yes, correct. 621 million.
Kanina, binasa ninyo na sa liham ng August 22, kasama bilang explanation para sa paghingi nyo ng confidential funds ang two other purposes. Ito yung official engagements at functional representation in international and domestic events. Tama ba? Alala ninyo?
Yes, that's included in the letter.
Subalit sa fiscal and financial plan, para sa huling quarter ng 2022, tinanggal na itong dalawang additional items na to. Tama ba? Natira na lamang yung good governance program.
Based on the document, ma'am, that was submitted.
At ang dahilan nito, you will confirm na itong dalawang programs nito, hindi to allowed under the joint circular that you cited in your September 19, 2022 letter. Tama ba?
As to the specifics of for these two items, ma'am, I cannot answer.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, punta naman tayo sa 2023 Fiscal and Financial Plan. You will confirm na bilang Assistant Secretary at Assistant Chief of Staff ng OVP, pamilyar din kayo dito sa 2023 Fiscal and Financial Plan.
I was able to see it, ma'am.
Yes. In fact, isa sa mga signatories dito sa Fiscal and Financial Plan na ito ay si Ms. Rosalyn Sanchez. Tama ba? Again, may we request the tech booth to enlarge the document being flashed on the screen.
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
At itong si Miss Rosalyn Sanchez, siya naman ang director ng AFSO.
Yes.
Nasabi mo, nagre-report din sa'yo. Tama
Directly
ba?
to me,
Okay.
yes.
Now, going back to that fiscal and financial plan, you will confirm that the expected outcome, fiscal targets, budget for the 4 quarters of 2023 na sinulat dito are just verbatim reproductions of the expected outcome, fiscal targets, and budget in the 2022 fiscal and financial plans. In short, yung expected outcome, fiscal targets, at budget para sa 4 na quarter na nakasaad dito sa 2023 fiscal and financial plan, salita por salitang kinopya ang expected outcome, fiscal targets, at budget sa 2022 fiscal and financial plans. Tama ba?
Based on the document, ma'am,
Yes.
it has the same content, ma'am.
Ang tanging pagkakaiba lamang ay ang nakasaad na physical activities and projects. Dito sa 2023 fiscal and financial plan, ang nakasaad na PPA ay socio-economic program and delivery. Tama ba?
Yes, that's
But you will
correct.
also confirm that like the good governance program, yung socio-economic program delivery, hindi rin ito isang partikular na programa. This is just an umbrella brand for the flagship programs of the OVP for 2023. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Sa ilalim niyan, merong mga partikular din na programa, individual and particular projects. Tama ba?
Yes, that's
Ngunit
correct.
wala kahit anuman dito sa mga particular programs na ito ang isinaad nyo o nilagay nyo sa fiscal and financial plan of 2023. Tama ba?
Based on the documents that's presented, ma'am.
Yes. At tulad ng 2022 fiscal and financial plan, etong 2023 fiscal and financial plan ay personal ding inaprubahan ng Vice President. Tama ba?
Yes, it has the signature of the Vice President.
And again, dahil walang counter-signature sa katabi ng kanyang pangalan, tama rin bang sabihin na hindi rin ito dumaan sa inyong opisina?
No, it did not pass through my office.
But generally, Mr. Ortonio, dahil kayo nga yung nangangasiwa or nag-exercise ng general supervision over the SMO as well as the AFSO, generally, walang documents ng OVP na hindi dumadaan sa office niya. Tama ba?
Generally po, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, now pumunta na tayo sa disbursement vouchers. Okay, Mr. Ortonio, dahil ikaw ay naging kawanina ng gobyerno for almost 2 decades, you would know na walang pondo ng publiko or pera ng bayan ang maaaring bayaran maliban kung suportado ng disbursement voucher. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Ang voucher, in short, ang voucher ang unang pinoproseso bago maaaring gumuhit ng anumang cheque involving public funds. Tama ba?
That's correct.
Now, Mr. Ortonio, I am showing you 4 disbursement vouchers, which are Prosecution's Exhibit P-I-10-A, P-I-10-B, P-I-10-C, P-I-10-D. You are familiar with these disbursement vouchers, correct? Familiar ka sa mga disbursement vouchers na to?
Yes, I am.
In fact, nakapirma ka sa lahat ng disbursement vouchers na yan. Tama ba?
Yes, based on the authorization of our office order.
At ang inyong pangalan ay nakapatong at nakalimbag sa salitang agency head or authorized representative. Tama ba? Ang agency head na tinutukoy dito ay walang iba kundi si Vice President Duterte. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Ang ibig sabihin nito, lumalagda ka sa bisa ng otoridad or on the strength of the authority that you were given by the Vice President. Tama ba?
Yes, based on an office order.
Yes. At ultimately, ang otoridad na yan na lumagda bilang kanyang kinatawan or authorized representative ay nagmula mismo sa Vice Presidente. Tama ba?
Yes.
Ngayon, ang inyong lagda ay nasa loob ng kahong approved for payment. You will
Yes.
confirm, ang ibig sabihin nito na ang paglagda ninyo or sa paglagda ninyo, inaprubahan ninyo ang pagbayad or pag-withdraw ng confidential funds para sa 2022 at 2023. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
At dahil lumagda kayo bilang authorized representative ng Vice President, ang pag-aproba mong iyon ay ibinigay din sa bisa ng otoridad ng Vice President. Tama ba?
Yes, based po sa isang office order.
Okay. So in short, it is as if it was the Vice President herself who was giving that approval to release those funds referred to in those disbursement vouchers. Tama ba?
As authorized po.
As authorized, yes. So, in short, Vice President nga, in short, Vice President approved the release of those, effectively, the Vice President approved the release of the funds referred to in those disbursement vouchers.
Your Honor,
Tama ba?
Your Honor, please, ask and answered already. As
Your Honor,
authorized.
the reason I have to make a follow-up question is that the answer of this witness was not responsive. I was asking whether it meant effectively that the Vice President herself approved the release of the funds referred to in that disbursement voucher. But the answer of the respondent was that it was authorized by her. So I want a categorical statement, Your Honor, from this witness.
I'll allow it in the meantime, counsel. Witness may answer.
Yes po, as authorized po. Yes.
Kung gayon, or in other words, kung wala ang pag-aproba ng Vice President sa mga disbursement vouchers na to, wala ring confidential funds sanang mailalabas. Tama ba?
Sorry again,
Kung
can you
walang-
repeat the question po?
Kung walang approval ng Vice President sa mga disbursement vouchers na to, wala ring confidential funds na mailalabas dahil ang funds or ang pondong pinapatukoy yan dito ay ang confidential funds for 2022 and 2023. Tama ba?
If there is no approval po, there is no release
No
of funds
release.
po.
Okay. Thank you.
With the indulgence of counsel, Mr. Tonyo, yung approved for payment ng pinirmahan nyo is in item or letter D.
Yes.
Do you have the document in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Yung letter A, certified expense cash advance necessary, lawful, and incurred under my direct supervision is signed by the Vice President.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
What does that mean?
It means that it is being,
Anong ibig sabihin ng pagpirma ng Vice President dyan sa box na yan?
the Vice President certifies that the funds is made under her supervision.
And hindi ka pipirma, ano ba to? Sequence ba to? A, B, C, D? Pag
Yes.
walang pirma si A, walang pirma si B, hindi mo na pipirma si C, hindi ka pipirma.
Yes, that's correct. It's
So
in
ikaw yung
sequence.
huling-huling pumirma
Yes, that's
sa
correct.
dokumentong ito ng disbursement voucher.
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed, counsel.
Okay, let us now go to the 4 checks. Okay, ang bawat isa sa 4 na disbursement vouchers na iyong inaprubahan, that you identified earlier, ito ay nagresulta sa pagguhit ng katumbas na cheque ng Land Bank. Tama ba? It resulted in the drawing of 4 Land Bank checks corresponding to the funds referred to in the disbursement vouchers. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
I am showing you the 4 checks, which are Prosecution's Exhibit P-28-A, P-I-28-B, P-I-28-C, P-I-28-B. B. You are familiar with these checks. Tama ba?
Yes, ma'am. I'm familiar with the checks being presented.
In fact, yung pirma mo, makikita dyan sa mga checking yan. Ikaw ay pumirma sa 4 na cheque. Tama ba?
Yes, as part of my duties as the Assistant Chief of Staff.
In fact, merong office order na nagtatalaga sa'yo bilang signatory para sa mga cheque na may halagang more than 1 million pesos. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
At ang order na yon ay nanggaling din kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Tama
Yes, the office order was signed by the Vice President.
ba? Signed by her and thus approved by her. Tama ba?
Yes.
Ngayon, you will confirm na kasama ka sa pag-encash ng mga checking ito. Tama ba?
Yes, I can confirm.
In fact, ikaw lang ang kasama ni Ms. Gina Acosta nang i-encash mismo ito sa Land Bank Shaw Boulevard branch. Tama ba?
Yes, when she requested me to accompany her.
Okay. So you must be familiar with the Land Bank Shaw Boulevard branch.
Yes.
Tama ba? At ito, Land Bank Shaw Boulevard branch ay matatagpuan sa Beacon Plaza, Shaw Boulevard, kanto ng Ideal Street, Mandaluyong City. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Na ipinapakita ko sa iyo ang isang litrato. Your Honor, may we request the tech booth to flash the photo on the screen.
Instructed.
Mr. Antonio, you've been to this branch several times, tama ba? The
Yes.
Land Bank branch. And you will confirm na yung litratong pinapakita sa iyo sa screen, yan ang Land Bank Shaw Boulevard branch.
The Land Bank Shaw Boulevard branch, ma'am, is within that building, ma'am.
Within that building. And you will confirm na yung sasakyan hindi maaaring pumasok beyond that area kung saan nakikita ang mga kotse. Tama ba?
Yes po, there's a parking lot
Yes.
in
And
front
from
of
there,
the compound.
kakailanganin namin yung maglakad para makapunta sa Land Bank branch mismo. Tama ba?
Yes.
And just to clarify, Mr. Antonio, in all 4 instances of encashment, sa 4 na encashment ng 4 na cheque, ikaw lamang ang kasama ni Ms. Gina Acosta na mag-encash at mag-withdraw ng pondo. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
And ito rin ay nagmumula sa instruction ng Vice President. Tama ba?
Yung pag-accompany ko po kay Miss Gina, it's based on the request of Miss Gina po.
Okay. But you will confirm na alam ito ng Vice President.
When you say alam na Vice President, yung pagsama ko po.
Yes.
That I cannot confirm, ma'am, if Miss Gina was able to inform the Vice President.
Pero yung withdrawal, that was also upon the instruction. Tama ba?
When you say withdrawal,
Withdrawal of the checks. Or the encashment itself.
I would assume, ma'am, na
Alam.
Miss Gina has informed the Vice President yung pag-encash niya. But as to if
Of course.
I'm accompanying
Yes.
her, I'm not sure, ma'am.
Okay. But the withdrawal and the encashment was within the knowledge of the Vice President. Because in fact,
As
you know,
answered, Your Honor.
this is a different question now, Your Honor.
Finish your question, counsel.
In fact, Mr. Otonyo, you will confirm that lahat ng nangyayari patungkol sa confidential funds, nire-report ito sa Vice Presidente. Tama ba?
Again,
Vague, Your Honor. Objection.
Kindly reform and be more specific, counsel. Are you just asking about the fact that Mr. Ortonio accompanied Gina on all 4 occasions? Kung alam ng BCN?
No, Your Honor, I'm referring to all matters pertaining to the confidential funds.
Vague,
These
Your
are reported to the Vice President and reported to and/or instructed by the Vice President.
Then that would be vague, counsel. Kindly be more specific. Kasi dininay niya na kanina kung he said he doesn't know if the Vice President knew that he would accompany Gina. Kindly be more specific. You can ask the witness. He's intelligent enough. Ask him specific questions, counsel.
I will park that for now, Your Honor.
You can move on then.
Okay. Now let's go to the audit observation memoranda, Mr. Otonio. You will confirm that you are familiar with this audit observation memoranda. I'm referring to Prosecution's Exhibit P-I-12-B, P-I-12-A, P-I-12-E, P-I-12-I.
yes, I'm familiar with the document, ma'am.
Okay.
For the record, witness was confronted with the 3 documents.
Okay. Mr. Ortonio, you are familiar with this audit observation memoranda dahil ikaw ay binigyan ng kopya ng mga ito. Correct?
Yes, that's correct. I
In
received
fact-
on behalf of the Vice President.
You've received it on behalf of the Vice President. In fact, lumagda ka dyan bilang patunay ng iyong pagtanggap sa mga audit observation memoranda na iyong tinitingnan ngayon. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
At kayo rin ang inatasang sumagot ng audit observation na memoranda na yan ng Vice Presidente. Tama ba?
Yes, I was given instructions to prepare the draft for the reply.
Okay, given instructions by the Vice President herself.
Yes.
Tama ba?
Yes.
And is it also correct to say na bago kayo tumugon sa mga audit observation memoranda na yan, sinuri at pinag-aralan din ninyo ang mga liquidation report na kalakip dito?
I consulted with the Special Disbursing Officer and the Security Officer on the information that will be included in the reply.
Okay. So you also studied, you also checked, reviewed those liquidation reports that were attached to the that were referred to in the audit observation memoranda. Tama ba?
Ma'am, I only consulted the Special Disbursing Officer and the Security Officer on the information that will be included in the reply.
So you are saying, hindi mo nakita ang liquidation report, umasa ka lamang sa kung anong nireport sa inyo ng Special Disbursing Officer at ng Security Officer?
Yes, I got the information from them, ma'am.
Okay. How about the certification and accomplishment reports? Of course, you saw these documents because in fact, you would be referring later to these documents in your reply to the audit observation memoranda. Tama ba?
I was able to see the reports, ma'am, but I did not anymore go into details, ma'am, and then that was made as an attachment to the replies, ma'am.
Okay. Just a clarification. Yung sa liquidation report, you also saw those liquidation reports. Tama ba?
At the time, ma'am, I was able to see the liquidation reports,
Okay.
ma'am.
Since you saw those liquidation reports, you must have also seen that in those liquidation reports, personal din na nilagdaan ng Vice Presidente ang mga liquidation reports na yun. Tama ba?
Your Honor, the question is vague. Counsel should refer to the particular report, Your Honor.
Kindly show the document, the
Your
liquidation
Honor.
reports you're referring to, counsel, so that the witness may be able to look at it.
Your Honor, I am referring to,
The 4 liquidation reports, I presume.
yes, Your Honor. I am referring to prosecution's exhibits P-I-9-A to P-I-9-D.
At the time, ma'am, I was able to just see it, ma'am, physically, but I was not able to review it, ma'am.
Okay, but you will confirm that that those liquidation reports all were signed by the Vice President, correct?
Yes, based on the document, ma'am, it has the signature of the Vice President.
Let's go to the certifications attached to the liquidation reports, which are prosecution's exhibit P-I-6-A to P-I-6-D again. Can you please kindly refer to the certification? In the meantime, Your Honor, I will just park that question for now and go to the next question. So let's go to the accomplishment reports, Mr. Ortonio. Since you mentioned, you also see these documents, you will also confirm na itong mga accomplishment reports na ito, lahat inaprubahan din ng Vice Presidente. I'm referring to exhibits P-I-7-A-1 to P-I-7-D.
Kindly show the witness, counsel. Assisting counsel may approach.
I was able to see, ma'am, but I did not scrutinize anymore, ma'am.
You did not scrutinize. But you will confirm that the signature of the Vice President appear in those documents, since earlier you admitted na pamilyar ka sa signature ng Vice President.
Yes.
Kanina, nabanggit mo, if you can just backtrack a bit, kanina nabanggit mo na makipag-coordinate ka sa security officer at sa special disbursing officer.
Yes.
Tama rin ba na sabihin na nag-coordinate ka with them upon the instructions of the Vice President? Tama ba?
Yes, there was an instruction to coordinate so that we can properly reply to the AOM.
Okay. Let us go back to liquidation report number 2022-12-152, which is prosecution's exhibit P-I-9-A. And you will confirm that based on this document, ang buong 125 million na confidential funds ay lubusang naubos pagsapit ng December 31, 2022. Tama ba?
Yes, based on the document, ma'am, based on the liquidation report.
And since in-encash nyo ang mga cheque or ang cheque pertaining to this fund, confidential fund, noon lamang December 20, 2022, Tama bang sabihin na yung pondo ay na-disburse sa loob lamang ng 11 days? Tama ba?
That, ma'am, I cannot
Based on this document,
If you base on the document, there's a liquidation of the cash advance for the period of December 21 to 31.
and that would be 10 days.
If you base it here, ma'am, that's December 21 to 31.
Yes. Okay. So a good 10 days.
Your Honor, please. The document speaks for itself.
Your Honor, I believe counsel is referring to the original documents rule. Unfortunately for her, Your Honor, that's an improper invocation of the original documents rule. The original documents rule does not bar questions relating to the document. What it simply prohibits is the substitution of the testimony of the witness for the document without producing the original of said document. Your Honor, the original of this document was presented to this honorable court as early as the pre-trial conference of this case, Your Honor.
We will allow it subject to the parameters that they cannot change what's contained in the document, but he may be
Your Honor.
questioned with respect to his understanding and appreciation of the document. Yes,
Your Honor,
Attorney
quick
Christine?
reply. Because the witness was asked to interpret the document, Your Honor, and the contents of the document.
I wasn't asking, Your Honor. It's by simple arithmetic,
No,
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor, she was
This-
referring to the contents of the
With all due
document.
respect, Your Honor, if I can just make a brief reply to the manifestation, Your Honor.
Yes, counsel, briefly.
Yes, I wasn't asking, Your Honor, this witness to interpret the document. By simple arithmetic, Your Honor, this witness can easily come up with a number of days within which, and just by looking at the document, this witness can easily come up and say the number of days within which the 125 million was spent and disbursed, Your Honor.
As long as the document is not going to be changed, I will allow it. Witness, if you know, again, you are well educated to be able to answer the simple question. If you know.
Again, Mr. Ortonio, you will confirm that the funds referred to in that liquidation document was fully disbursed within a good 10 days, because you said the disbursement covers the period December 21 to December 31, 2022. Tama ba?
Based on computation, ma'am, it's actually 11
Sorry,
days.
11 days.
Based on the computation and based on the document, ma'am, it's
11 days.
It will reflect 11 days.
Correct. Ito ay sa kabila ng fact na sa ilalim ng PFP, ang pondo ay para sa buong ika-4 na quarter ng 2022. Tama ba?
It's for the fourth quarter of 2022.
And that fourth quarter of 2022 means October, November, the period October, November, December of 2022. Tama ba?
For fourth quarter, ma'am, that covers for October, November, and December.
Yeah, October, November, and December 2022. Yes.
Yes.
So it means dahil it covers that period, October, November, and December 2022, yung pondo ay spread out supposedly para sa activities na itinala noong October, November, and December 2022. Tama ba?
Your Honor, please.
Counsel?
That is an assumption, Your Honor. That's a conclusion of fact. The witness did not testify that it should be spread throughout the quarter, Your Honor, and speculative also.
May I just, Your Honor, make a counter manifestation and a reply to the comment made?
Yes, counsel. What's your reply?
I'm not assuming anything, Your Honor. Precisely, I am asking this witness to confirm. There's no assumption in that, Your Honor.
Counsel, but it has no basis. Counsel for respondent is correct. The witness did not say, neither was it contained in any letter of the Office of the Vice President, that it is for the entire quarter. Reform, Counsel. You can get to what you want still. Kindly
With all due
reform.
respect, Your Honor, this witness has just admitted earlier that the funds was for the fourth quarter of 2022. He even mentioned that it is for October, November, for the period October, November, and December 2022.
Your Honor, I believe the court has already ruled on the matter, Your Honor.
Kindly reform, counsel. You can get to what you want just as easily, counsel.
Okay. Earlier, Mr. Ortonio, you mentioned na yung programs na nakalagay both in the 2022 and 2023 fiscal and financial plans, which are the good governance programs and the socio-economic programs, these are just umbrella programs. At sa ilalim nito, merong mga individual plans, programs, and activities ang OVP. Tama ba?
Yes.
And these plans, programs, and activities are spread out through the year. Tama ba?
If you base it on the PFP, there is an allocation.
Sorry, I'm not referring to the PFP, just generally. Itong socio-economic programs, program delivery, and good governance program, ito ay naka-spread out through the entire year.
Yes,
Tama
for
ba?
implementation,
For
throughout,
implementation.
throughout the year.
Okay, so merong programa na naka-schedule for October, meron din for November, meron din for December. Tama ba?
Yes, there are schedules for the rollout of the activities.
Okay, tama. At dahil yung PFP or Fiscal Financial Plans, ang sinasabi lamang ay Socio-Economic Development Program at Good Governance Program, effectively, ang ibig sabihin nito, yung pondong nakatalaga doon sa relevant quarter na yon ay nakatalaga para sa relevant programs, plans, and activities for each quarter.
Your Honor, please. Can the counsel show what particular PFP she's referring to, Your Honor?
Your Honor, may we request our assisting counsel to furnish
You may do
the
so.
witness with both PFPs, Your Honor, for the 2022 and 2023 PFP. So just for clarity, let's just go to
The
the
2022.
PFP for 2022.
Yes.
Okay. May nakalagay dyan sa PAP's Good Governance Program. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Ang sinasabi mo kanina, yung Good Governance Program na yan, hindi yan isang partikular na programa lamang. Merong mga flagship programs under that Good Governance Programs. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
And for every month, for the remaining quarter of 2022, meaning October, November, and December, meron diyang mga nakatalang activities, plans, and programs falling under the Good Governance Programs. Tama ba?
Yes, under the good governance
Yes,
program.
under the Good Governance Programs. At nakalagay din dyan na yung halagang 125 million ay para sa quarter 4 of 2022, meaning that is the period October, November, and December 2022. Tama ba?
This for the subject na confidential funds.
Yes, for the confidential funds. Yes. Tama rin bang sabihin na for presumably, yung October, November, and December, merong mga activities for which the confidential funds would answer to.
Your Honor,
Or would
please.
answer for. Tama ba?
Your Honor, please.
Attorney Christine?
Your Honor, she's asking for an opinion. We note that the witness is not even the one who prepared this PFP, Your Honor. And counsel also stated, presumably, Your Honor. So that's asking for an opinion.
Wait, if I may just...
With the indulgence of counsels, so that we can get somewhere before we break for lunch. Mr. Ortonio, yung PAP po ninyo at yung request nyo sa confidential funds sa huling quarter ng 2022, ang plano nyo sana para sa buong huling quarter ng 2022?
Your Honor, if you will base, number one po, because I did not participate in the preparation of the PFP. So in terms of the details of the implementation for the confidential funds, I may not be able to properly
Hindi pa po
answer.
natin pinag-uusapan na implementasyon. Pinag-uusapan po natin nung nag-submit kayo ng plano para manghingi ng confidential fund at ikaw yung pumirma nun para sa last quarter. Kaya lang, as we all know, late na na-release yung pera, hindi ba?
Yes, based on the PFPs, Your Honor, it's as indicated here, it's for October to December.
Yes, para sa last quarter nga ng 2022. Kailan na-release yung pera? Kailan mo winidraw? December 21?
The SARO was released December 30, and then the withdrawal was made December 20.
December 20. Tapos in-implement nyo hanggang December 31.
Based on the documents, Your Honor, the activities were implemented until December 21.
31.
31, sorry, until December 31.
Now, I'll go a step further, Counsel. Ba't ba kailangan madaliin yan? Hindi ba ang budget good for two years? As you very well know, given your position in the Office of the Vice President. The budget, the GAA, is good for 2 years anyway. So why was there a need to implement it within the year?
Because, Your Honor, the request was made for the specific year, which is 2022.
At dahil nga yung plano nyo is for the last quarter of 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your witness, Counsel?
Okay, just follow through, Your Honor,
Of
with the
course,
question made by the presiding officer. So just to clarify, dahil nakasaad dyan na yung confidential funds of 125 million for 2022 is for the last quarter, meaning for October, November, and December, nakalaan yan para sa activities under the good governance programs ng OVP for October, November, and December. Tama ba?
Yes, based on the
Based on the
PFP.
document. Okay. Okay. At bilang supervising authority over the financial services ng OVP, alam din ninyo na ang notice of cash allocation na hindi nagamit pagsapit ng katapusan ng taon ay naglalapse. Tama ba?
Yes.
Ibig sabihin nito, ang anumang pondo na hindi nagamit at hindi nagastos o ang anumang balanse ng cash advance sa katapusan ng taon ay dapat isauli sa Treasury. Tama ba?
That's correct.
Kung gayon, kung hindi na-report o nagastos yung 125 million pagsapit ng December 31, 2022, bahagi o buo nito ay babalik sana sa Treasury. Tama ba?
Yes.
Yes. Noong hearing sa CGGPA noong November 25, 2024, inamin mo na ikaw ay pinagkakatiwalaan ng Vice Presidente sa mga sensitive and confidential information. Tama ba? Naalala mo?
I cannot specifically remember if I said those words po in verbatim.
Okay. We are furnishing you a copy of the transcript of stenographic notes of the CGGPA hearing dated November 25, 2024, specifically page 208. Which is also flashed on the screen. Sinabi mo, and I quote, sa mga sensitibong bagay, end of quote.
What's your question, Counsel?
Do you confirm that, Mr. Ortonio?
I think the context for this, ma'am, is because the previous question was...
Excuse me, Mr. Ortonio, I need to cut you because...
Witness is answering.
That's why I was
But my
asking, what
question
was
is
your
not
question? Because I also did not get the question. Kindly repeat your question,
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel.
I was
Attorney May.
asking the witness whether or not he admitted during that hearing that the Vice President would entrust to him or would share with him mga sensitibong bagay.
Yes, ma'am, but that is in the context of the previous question that my position is of trust and
Yes.
confidence.
Yes, correct.
And although I said po na on sensitive matters, of course, it is never absolute that all sensitive matters can be disclosed.
Okay, we understand that, Mr. Ortonio. Okay, nung between December 20 and December 31, meron ba kayong narinig na threat of cataclysmic proportion? Ibig sabihin, meron ba kayong narinig na banta na masyadong mapaminsala na kailangan supuin sa loob lamang ng 11 days? Noong December 20 to December 31, 2022.
Your Honor, please.
Counsel?
Question is vague, Your Honor. and no basis also.
How can that be vague, Your Honor?
I presume it's threat against the Vice President. May alam po ba kayo na anong salita ulit yung ginamit mo, Attorney May?
Threat of
mapaminsala?
cataclysmic proportion or banta na masyadong mapaminsala.
Bantang mapaminsala. Kakaibang banta. Laban kay sa ikalawang Pangulo. Nung mga panahong yon na malapit sa petsang December 21 to 31. If you know of any.
Your Honor, I personally don't know of any information.
Okay. By the way, just again to backtrack a bit, Mr. Tonyo, when you requested confidential funds in 2022, kung alam niyo yung OVP po ba, meron ng mga natukoy na banta laban sa Vice President ng panahong yun?
Ma'am, I cannot personally answer. Maybe that's a question that can be answered by the security group.
But as far as you're concerned, are you aware of any identified threats against the Vice President or the office during that time?
If he knows, Counsel, Attorney Christine, if he does not, he may answer accordingly.
I personally do not know of
Personally,
any.
do not know. And before you requested confidential funds from the DBM, would you know if the Office of the Vice President coordinated with any law enforcement agency for possible threats against the Vice President or the office? Would you know?
In relation to possible threats to the Vice President, I would not have any information.
You would
or-
not have any information. Ibig sabihin mo ba, itong mga threats na to, hindi to kasama sa mga supervise mo na internal affairs or mga programa ng internal affairs ng Office of the Vice President. Dahil sinabi mo, ikaw nagsusupervise ng dalawang opisina who in turn or that in turn oversees or monitors matters relating to the OVP.
Your Honor, please.
Attorney Christine?
Ask and answered and complex, Your Honor, and also argumentative.
It's a bit compound, Counsel. Reform a bit, Counsel. The question is long as well. The witness might not be able to respond adequately. Break it up a bit, Counsel.
So, Mr. Antonio, you mentioned earlier that you are not aware of any coordination efforts with law enforcement agency at the time that you requested funds from the DBM. Tama ba?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Honor, please. The question is misleading. The witness said no information as to the supposed threats against the Vice President.
Witness has already answered, Counsel. Proceed, Attorney May.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. So, nasabi mo wala kang alam na coordination efforts. Ang sinasabi mo pa, itong mga coordination efforts na to, hindi to sakop ng overseeing and supervising functions mo as Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff of the OVP.
In relation to security matters, ma'am, no, that is not part of my duties as the Assistant Chief of Staff.
Okay. Thank you. Now, pumunta na tayo sa accomplishment reports na sinabi mo kanina ay nakita mo in connection with your preparation of the responses to the audit observation memorandum. Tama ba?
Yes.
You mentioned that. I am referring to Prosecution's Exhibits P-I-7-A-1 to P-I-7-D. These are the accomplishment reports that you admitted seeing.
Yes, I was able to see them po.
Okay. Let's first go to the first three accomplishment reports, which are P-I-7-A-1 to P-I-7-C. You confirm that? Do you see that before you?
Yes.
Okay. Etong tatlong reports na to, ang bawat report ay naglilista ng pare-parehong 6 na kategorya sa pare-parehong pagkakasunod-sunod. Tama ba?
Yes.
You have purchase of information, payment of reward, rental and maintenance of safe houses, purchase of supplies, medical and food aid, and incentives or traveling. Tama ba? That order. All
Yes.
4 or all 3 accomplishment reports.
Yes.
Sa bawat quarter, ang mga halagang iyon ay eksaktong nagkakabuo ng 125 million. Tama ba?
Based on the document, ma'am, presented, yes.
And you will also confirm na sa bawat isa sa mga quarter na yon, walang halagang naisauli. Tama ba?
Based on the liquidation report, ma'am,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Now, sa 2022 report, ang safe house rental and maintenance, ang halaga ay 16 million pesos. Tama ba?
Yes, based on the report.
Document. Ganon din sa first quarter ng 2023. 16 million din ang halaga ng house rental and maintenance, safe house rental and maintenance. Tama ba?
Yes, based on the document, ma'am.
At ganon din sa second quarter ng 2023. 16 million para sa safe house rental and maintenance. Eksaktong 16 million pesos.
Yes, ma'am.
And you will also confirm, as you've already confirmed earlier, na ang 2022 report, ang saklaw na period nito ay 11 days. Tama ba?
From December 21 to 31.
Samantalang, ang sakop naman na period ng first quarter ng February 6, ng first quarter report ay February 6 to March 29, 2023. So that's 52 days. Tama ba?
Based on the document, ma'am.
Okay. And the second quarter naman, ang saklaw na period nito ay April 25 to June 30 or 67 days. Tama ba?
Yes, based on the document.
Gayunpaman, magkakapareho ang alaga ng safe house rental at maintenance sa tatlong reports na yan. Tama ba?
Yes,
on the report.
based on the report.
Okay. So in short, 16 million pesos para sa safe house, para sa 11 araw, para sa 52 days, at para sa 67 days. Pare-parehong 16 million ang halaga.
Based on the document, ma'am.
Yes. The same is true, Mr. Tonyo, for incentives and traveling. Yung line item na yan na makikita sa accomplishment report. Tama ba? It's the same 10 million pesos for all those 3 quarters.
Yes, based on the document, ma'am.
And you will also confirm that based on that document, based on those documents, for the 2022 report, it covers, or it claimed to have covered 132 areas in 11 days. Tama ba?
Sorry again, ma'am, for 20.
2022, the first report. May
Yes,
nakalagay
ma'am.
na area. It's 132 areas for 11 days. So first quarter naman of 2023, it claims 127 areas in 52 days.
Yes, based on the report, ma'am.
And for the second quarter, it's 111 areas in 67 days. Tama ba?
Yes, based on the report, ma'am.
Based on the report. And for the third quarter, it's 122 areas in 79 days, correct?
Yes, that's correct, ma'am.
So, ibig sabihin nito, yung shortest period pa, ang pinakamaikling panahon, ang nagbunga ng pinakamaraming lugar, which is 132 days. Tama ba? Based on the document.
Based on the document,
Yes.
ma'am. Yes.
Pero, yung halaga ay hindi nagbago. It remained 10 million pesos. Tama ba?
Your Honor,
Based on the
please.
document.
Yes, Counsel.
Argumentative, Your Honor, ang mahalaga hindi nagbago na 10 million pesos.
Your Honor, the counsel may have misheard what I said. I was referring to halaga, Your Honor. And in any event, Your Honor, it's not argumentative. I am eliciting a matter of fact from this witness.
Witness may answer, counsel. We're a few minutes before lunch, Attorney Christine.
Based on the document presented, ma'am.
The
that's
amount
how
did
it
not
seems.
change.
That's how it
Remain
yes.
10 million pesos regardless of the number of areas covered.
Yes, based on the document.
You will also confirm from those documents that for the first 3 reports, meaning the 2022 report and the reports for the first 2 quarters of 2023, may line item or provision for medical and food aid. Correct?
Yes.
Nagkakahalaga ng 40 million, 42 million, and 40 million respectively. Tama ba?
Yes.
Etong mga accomplishment reports, you will agree and you will admit na ito ay isinumite sa COA bago pa nakatanggap ang OVP ng Audit Observation Memorandum. Tama ba?
If based on the submission dates, ma'am, yes.
Yes. And you will also confirm that the OVP received the first memorandum, which is Audit Observation Memorandum number 2023-213, only on October 4, 2023. Tama ba?
Yes.
And 5 days later, kayo naman ang OVP nag-submit ng last report for the 3rd quarter of 2023, which is Prosecution's Exhibit P-I-7-D, which is already before you, Mr. Toño. Tama ba?
The 3rd quarter
Yes.
accomplishment report.
Yes, you submitted that on October 9, 2023.
October 9, based on the submitted report.
Okay, so that was 5 days after you received the first audit observation memoranda from
Yes.
the COA. Tama. And if you will check and if you will confirm, dyan sa last na accomplishment report na yan, wala na yung line item for medical and food aid. Tama ba?
Yes.
Pero, ang kabuuan pa rin ng fund ay 125 million pesos. Yung kabuuan ng confidential fund na nagastos ay ganun pa rin, 125 million pesos.
Yes, based on the document, ma'am.
Yung dating 40 million, 42 million, and 40 million na amount, hinati-hati to sa iba't ibang line item. Tama ba? Merong nilagay sa provision ng rewards. Tama ba?
Your Honor,
Ma'am.
please.
Counsel?
Witness is incompetent to testify on that because he did not prepare the accomplishment report.
If he knows, counsel, based on the documents, if he knows ko, alam niyo po, Mr. Ortonio, maaari niyo pong sagutin. Kung hindi
Thank
niyo
you,
rin
Your
alam,
Honor.
sabihin niyo hindi niyo alam.
I would not know, ma'am, if hinati-hati, ma'am, because I did not prepare the document.
But you would confirm na kahit na wala yung line item na yon na supposedly 40 million, 42 million, and 40 million, the amount stayed 125 million.
Your Honor, please.
So,
Same ruling, same objection.
Asked and answered already.
Same ruling, same objection. Please continue, counsel. Move on. And by the way, Attorney May, choose the best time when you want to pause para hindi ka bitin sa direct examination mo. Not to exceed 12:15 so that we can all go on a lunch break. But you choose the best time when you want to pause. Until 12:15, counsel. Or before that time.
yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed,
So
counsel.
there was a question left hanging, Your Honor. I was asking the
Yes.
witness, since nawala yung light item na medical and food aid, subalit naging pareho pa rin ang amount, ang total halaga, which is 125 million. Yung corresponding amount of 40, 42 million, 40 million for the medical food aid that must have been assigned to other line items, correct?
I cannot confirm on that, ma'am.
But you do confirm the total is still the same.
I can confirm, sir, that based on the document, the total amount is still the same. But as
And that
to the
they're all the
distribution-
same, Mr. Ortonio.
Yes.
For the last quarter of 2022 and the first 3 quarters of 2023, they're all 125.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Move on, Counsel.
And you will also confirm, if you would compare those 4 accomplishment reports, for the first time in the accomplishment report for the 3rd quarter of 2023, lumabas ang sa unang pagkakataon, ang bawat item ay inilarawan bilang kaugnayan sa areas of engagement of the Office of the Vice President. Tama ba?
Sorry again, ma'am.
Yung phrase na areas of engagement of the Office of the Vice President, makikita mo lamang yan for the first time in the 3rd accomplishment report. Tama ba? Sorry, 4th accomplishment report referring to the 3rd quarter of 2023
Areas of engagement.
of the Office of the Vice President.
Sorry, ma'am. Okay, for item D. Yes, based on the document, ma'am.
Your Honor, we can rest for now, Your Honor, and have our lunch.
It's a good point to pause, Counsel, and continue with your direct examination when we reconvene after lunch.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We shall go on a lunch recess and shall reconvene at 12:45 per the suggestion of the Senate President. We are on recess until 12:45.